minute early. What's going on, Hipster Nation? Welcome back to Monday morning. Man, we have some huge breaking news. We have all kinds of things going on from Rob Reiner, the actor and director. Him and his wife was killed. We still have information coming in on that. Also, we have Bondi Beach and the Brown shooting. So I just want to get this out of the way. If you're new here, thank you for stopping in. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this show or if you enjoy the channel. You want to support the show, we do have memberships. That's all I'm going to say about that. Come support the channel. And like I said, it's a busy Monday morning. We're going to get into it. We do have some things to discuss about social media. This social media is evil. It is a wicked place to be sometimes. The reason I say that about social media is because there are so many just sheep just jumping on the bandwagon with social media. Um, Here's the thing. Holy shit. Nick Reiner, breaking news right now. Nick Reiner, the son, is listed in custody in Los Angeles. That's what they're saying. They believe the son, because Rob Reiner and his wife were murdered. They believe they had knife wounds. They believe the son. They're saying that Rob Reiner right now, the son is in custody in Los Angeles. Holy shit. So you may not care. The thing I was talking about with social media, make sure you hit the like button if you're coming in, guys. The thing about social media is like the Bondi Beach, the terror attack in Australia, huge. It's on the news. But look here, is I believe this shit is scripted. All right. Because one thing is you got tons of people talking about Islam, Muslims, this terror attack, all this stuff on social media, every platform, and then boom, famous actor, blah blah blah, and his wife is murdered. What do you see? You see the same old sheep. Here, let's post this. So they jump from one thing to the next, and there's no real substance. They don't care about what's actually going on. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying there's a majority of people, they're just jumping on that bandwagon, hoping to get clicks and views and likes. I've done it in the past myself, but I choose not to do that nowadays. I want to bring real information. I want to be able to bring you guys, even if it's Instagram, X, Facebook or whatever. I want to bring the information so you guys can see it from two different sides, and you can judge for yourself what is real, what is not. It's a matrix system. No politician. Here's the truth: no politician, no president. I don't care who's in there, is never going to come save you. Look at their bank accounts and look at yours. Look at their homes. Look at yours. That's just the reality of it. And as Americans, this is the thing that aggravates me because everybody sits and hollers, "Well, I would do this, I would do that. I wouldn't. I would have reacted that way." Really? How do you know how you would react in a moment situation? And now they're saying, "Oh, there's just not enough footage around Bondi Beach." But then you go on social media and you got 500 different cell phone angles of people recording. So yeah, there is enough information out there. It's just what you choose to get and who do you choose to get it from, And one of the main topics, I'm not talking about just bystanders. Yeah, the bystander that disarmed. Yeah, that was great. The attacker, you know, that was awesome. We're going to jump into this. We're going to try to jump over here to where I can find some news. Of course, we will show some Fox. We will show some different, different videos. And like I said, here's the thing about they took their Second Amendment away in Australia. The bad guy will always have find the guns. You understand? The bad guys will always find, no matter what, they're always going to be armed. That's the truth, right? So um, we have a couple of clips I do want to show. Yes, here's one of them right here. That what I will do is okay. Let's see. Okay, let's jump over here. Sorry, guys, just hang with me. I'm trying to get it up on the screen here. Okay, let's jump over here. Let's see if we can turn the volume up a little bit.
How this is playing out.
I've spent so much time in recent years. I bring my kids to come and play down here, like so many others do as well.
Yeah, they
And
said it was like
that,
Venison Beach.
that I'll never forget of the death and the chaos, but also these incredible images of Bondi's famous lifeguards, just ordinary citizens doing their work. And as I mentioned earlier too, you always hope that when you're faced with a circumstance like that,
now, if you don't know who Sky News is live, they in Australia, they're pretty good. So
that you would do the work that's required to help people, to stop a gunman, to save a life, and you hope it would do our live reporting from this disaster, this dark day.
So this guy right here, let's go back for just a second. So there's somebody up here in the, I guess, apartment or building, and they're recording this. Like,
folks, and we will return.
This right here is where the Second Amendment, the carrying would come in handy. In the United States, 34 to 35% of Americans own guns. Now, that's low to me. I think that should be 90%, because in a situation like this, I'm going to tell you right here, here's the truth. I have researched this all morning and yesterday. It took 20 minutes for the police to get there. No wonder the civilian had to step in.
Thank you so much for your company. Our live reporting from this disaster, this dark day in Australia's history.
He was actually Muslim, the civilian. He took 2 shots to the arm. He's okay.
We'll continue after this short break.
You just saw there the video, a clip of the video that we've been talking about that has been circulating online, where you had the shooter firing on Australians, Jews celebrating Hanukkah on the beach, firing on them, and a bystander crouching behind a car coming up and tackling the shooter and wrestling the gun away from the shooter. Yeah, and that report there, you could hear in that Sky News reporter just the angst and the sorrow and the amount of emotion that the community in Sydney and Bondi Beach are feeling. It's just about 45 minutes after midnight Sydney time there, and you did see that.
Yeah, let's jump through. I don't want to get caught.
People had to flee across to get out of the
We're
line
going to show
fire.
you a couple of different
that bridge,
things
that elevated bridge right there,
showing,
is where one,
the bodies,
which leads you to think that that's probably the second shooter who is deceased, and the other one was maybe detained. And you mentioned the logistics of this shooting and where it took place.
He was detained.
Understanding those things is
this is graphic. So warning.
Cohen, who joins us now. Aaron.
Yeah, one of the shooters was unalived, and the other one was detained. But there's also a video going out around there where a bystander, like when they had the shooter on the ground, the bystander ran up and kicked him in the head and called him a bastard or something like that. I mean, it's a brutal situation, guys. This was a brutal terror attack. This was planned. And we have some breaking news right now. Also, the FBI has come out and said 4 in LA was arrested in New Year's terror plot this morning. So, I mean, I'm gonna rehash something Sean Hannity says a lot. It ain't if, it's when. And he's been saying this, and I have too. I've been saying this for years. Sean Hannity's been, there's been many of us been saying this for years and years. It ain't about if something happens, it's when. Because Joe Biden's administration had opened the floodgates. Not only that, they've been coming in for 30 years. They've lost over 2 million gotaways. We don't know these people. We don't want them in this country. They don't need to be in this country. And I'm telling you right now, with the Omar up there saying, and that's what she's doing right now, the Omar lady, she is sitting there and she's been on this, like, speaking thing, tour, whatever she's doing. And she's talking about, this is what I'm talking about. We need less firearms in this country. We need less, guns in this country. No, we don't. We need actually more, because when shit like this happens, the American people need to be able to defend themselves. Why? And I would love to ask her, do you really want to wait 20 to 30 minutes for the police to get there? And while these people are completely, unaliving all these people?
This was clearly, by admission by the Australian officials, a targeted attack. But
Yes,
speak
it
to us
was.
specifically about this target, Bondi Beach.
They targeted it because they were celebrating Hanukkah. These Jewish people were celebrating their Hanukkah. And then they have reports of another thing was supposed to be going on with the Jewish people in a different location, and they canceled that because they were scared. Now, remind you, these two guys didn't just have guns; they had active, live explosives that the police had found in their cars, and they took them back to their bomb squad people, and they disarmed them.
So there's a couple of things to unpack here. I agree and disagree with Miri on certain things, your previous guest. Here's where I'm at with this. I do believe that this was a lone wolf attack. I think these were lone wolves. But when we
It
talk
was a
about
father
lone
and
wolves,
son,
we
I believe
typically
they
tend to
said.
picture isolated individuals who are
I believe they said it was a father and son, if I'm not mistaken, that did this. So now these crazy motherfuckers think that they're in heaven with 72 fucking virgins, living it up. This guy here, this guy thinks that he's in, and I mean, come on, really?
acting on their own. And in reality, many of these so-called lone actors, guys,
What people don't
are
understand
not
is this country is
operationally
completely
directed, but they are
in a world of
ideologically
our country in America here. We're in a world of hurt. This is what, if we're not careful, by voting in these fucking woke Democrats and these Omars and all these activists, that's the problem. They're not even politicians anymore. They're activists. This is the issue with voting in these people. This is what America will look like. And I pray it doesn't. I pray it doesn't.
influenced and encouraged and validated by America's enemies, our foreign adversaries. And I want to talk about Iran. They have been one of the most active state sponsors of this model, spiking our algorithm, tossing that rage bit up, hijacking that comment section. And so while you might have many peaceful, quiet Muslims who live in Australia, they don't need to task, Iran doesn't need to task an attacker directly. They just need to hand someone a weapon in that ideology and allow them to believe that it's okay to attack Jews on Hanukkah. And so I believe that Iran is seeding this propaganda, amplifying the anti-Semitic narratives to glorify this violence and create that digital ecosystem where unstable and aggrieved individuals like these two shooters are nudged towards that action, and that's recruitment. And that's what I think we just saw play out right here. And I think we're seeing the same type of behavioral, ideologically grievance-motivated, online, digitally influenced attack with the Brown shooter as well. That might not be Iran, but it's the internet that is driving these lone wolves
that you see coming from around the car, seems to tackle the gunman there, and then
I command him, Muslim or not. I command that guy because yes, he's a Muslim, and there's Jews there celebrating Hanukkah. But that Muslim was not thinking about himself. He was thinking about innocent kids and people. You know what I mean? Like, we can blame as many Muslims as we want. I don't care for them. I don't care for their religion. They do not need to be in this country. They cannot simulate to our ways. They just don't. They do not simulate to the Western culture. But this guy, I give credit to him. He's Muslim. He stopped a terrorist Muslim attack by tackling this guy and taking his gun away from him. I commend him for that, man. I would have done the same. I'm that kind of guy. But I would not be willing to live in a country where I couldn't carry my firearm.
as it goes, he's sort of holding them off. And then just off to the right of
Someone said, why didn't he shoot him? Well, he would have went to prison for, murder. You're going to shoot an unarmed man? Because the prime minister over there is a wackadoodle, wokey, that's just allowed all this shit to come in.
your screen, there is apparently another of the attackers that reportedly may have shot this Good Samaritan. But as you watch this video, what do you make of it?
Well, I saw a civilian taking action, moving from passive to reactive. Obviously, it looks like it was one of the guests. It looks like it could have been one of the Chabad members. I can't tell if he's got tzitzi or tatilim, or if he's a member of that particular gathering for Hanukkah at the beach there. But he moved into action. He's not reacting. He's not waiting. You know, when you've got two forces and one person is more aggressive. First of all, you had the element of surprise. Came up around that vehicle, got on the individual, was able to strip the weapon away. May have some training, may not, but pushing action and being aggressive is the only solutions for 2025 threats. We've got all of this digital. We've got all of these adversaries, Iran, China, CCP, making everybody absolutely nuts online, and we have to start getting in front of these threats.
That's why I keep saying social media is a networking system. It's not a play system, which, you know, we know 80% probably. I'm just going to guess 80% of people are just on social media to play, build characters, try to be famous. But these serious countries like CCP, you know, China, all these other countries, Iran, Iraq, they don't look at social media like we do. They look at it as a network. I look at it as a network system, to network between people and companies and other things. Here's the thing. They look at it as a networking system, and how can they rot your child's brain? How can they idealize your child? How can they put their ideology in your children or in some 20-year-old to go do this stuff? And they have figured out the algorithms. They have figured things out because they have money into it. So when they have influence in certain apps and things like that, and they donate tons of money, guess what? Or they pay influencers or whatever they do, there is always going to be a ideology push from these other countries, and they're going to radicalize these people. That's what they want to do. Just like the Democrats in our country here, they want to radicalize our kindergartners or elementary school kids. I mean, look at the school teachings. Look at them. Look at the colleges. Do you understand that? Seriously, like when a kid goes to school and gets to college, they completely come out woke or radical because of the colleges they go to. That's what these leftists do. These professors. That's their job. That's what they think their job is to do, is to, you know, to make your child woke. And most of these kids or parents are paying $70K a year for these kids to go to school to get brainwashed.
Model is getting people killed. The only way to get in front of these threats, 80% of these attackers leak online. The only way to get in front of these threats is to make sure that law enforcement is getting this intelligence upstream. And so we need to be looking at models like Gideon, my platform, so we can get law enforcement that pre-attack guys. Every one of these attackers leak online. We need to start finding the signal. And that's where I come out with all this.
So, Aaron, when you look at that video right there, you can see the shooter, civilians, regular
he's
citizens.
Sitting there holding him.
Shotguns,
it's
hunting
wild,
shotguns,
man.
or sports shotguns are also difficult to get, but they're a little bit easier.
Yes, the shotguns. That's why they had shotguns. They're a little easier to get. You know, they were easier to get. Let's remove that for a minute. They're easier to get in a country. They're easier to smuggle in. They're easier for some reason. That's what they say. They're easier to get a hold of if you're in a country that doesn't allow, you know, firearms and stuff like that. If you're in a country, that's why I keep saying people can say what they want. I don't give a crap. This country will never, I pray to God, will never surrender, just like Canada and the UK. The UK is completely went under with, you know, the way they've surrendered all their firearms and did all that back in the day. It is completely insane. And the Brown University shooting, the suspect they had in custody questioning, they released that person, by the way. They are no longer a suspect, I guess. So, which is good, you know, is not good news. They need, because they still haven't located the shooter. That's what's weird. Now, remind you, it took 17 minutes, guys. It took 17 minutes for the police to get to the university to react to that shooting. And then you have the dean. The dean is a woman. The people ask her a question. The news people ask her a question. The reporter said, "Do you know anything about this? How's this certain? She couldn't even answer. She said, "I don't know what's going on. I don't know what building. I don't know if the kids are safe. I mean, what dean?" And this was 6 hours later. 6 hours later, the dean still did not know a clue. Didn't have a clue what was going on. Who is running these universities? And the reason I say this is because I have a child in college, and she goes to college every day. But where I live, she packs, man. She carries protection with her. You cannot allow these people to do this.
After a shooting yesterday at Brown University in Rhode Island.
Officials say the suspect is a male dressed in all black who left the scene on foot through a door on Hope Street. A shelter in place has been just lifted for the entire Brown campus, and the AP is reporting that a person of interest.
Now, seriously, like, they lifted it, let everybody say, "Okay, let's go home." The police came in there. They escorted all the college kids out. I get that. They can't just keep them there for days. But they said, "Here, you're free to go. We're going to escort you out, check you, make sure you're okay, da-da-da." But the suspect's still on the loose. What's to say he ain't going to come back? And like someone else was saying, who knows who did this? This guy may have went and unalived himself. This guy may have went and, he could have not even been from that state. Why did he choose that building?
Is in custody now.
I don't know.
Former ATF
Maybe because
Special
they
Agent
were
Bernard-
taking exams. He knew that was a full, classroom of people. Did he have any connections with the university? Did he go there one time? Did he, there's so many questions to ask. Because there's so much crap online, they're saying, "Oh, he was Muslim too," and all this. Nobody knows. If the police doesn't have a suspect, they don't know who it is. How do they know? I mean,
Zapor joins us now. Bernard, thank you for getting up. What do you make of this situation? We're just getting this news that the shelter in place has been lifted. AP reporting someone's in custody, but clearly the police investigation is very active.
It's an incredibly challenging tactical and investigative problem for all the law enforcement and community involved here, because essentially there's a lot of things that can't begin until the shooting stops. And until you have somebody in custody that you can confirm is the cause of this, the shooting hasn't stopped theoretically. And so their number one priority is to make sure that they're not going to have a re-engagement, that there are other participants in the shooting. And so, a lot of resources that would be used investigatively are going to be committed to that. Resources have been coming in throughout the night. They're leaning into a lot of technology right now, both for finding the person responsible so they can ensure the safety of the community, and secondly, to get answers as to what's going on. And of course, all at the same time, the management of 10 plus people, critically injured, people fighting for their lives, the parents and friends and family that are coming into the area to be managed is all critically challenging, and number one priority. A lot of resources are going for this. They're getting answers. They have more than they can reveal right now, but it's progressing.
So they're getting answers. They have more than.
We don't have more video circulating right now.
Do you
but
believe
obviously
that?
authorities picked out that one short clip of the man that they say is a person, at least a person of interest, walking away. I assume that there's more to it than just what we're seeing right there that makes them think that is the person of interest that they want to talk to.
Well, they want to talk to him because he looks like he's almost got a limp right there in his leg, but he's also looks like he's carrying something in that hand. He's not moving his hand or that right, the right arm. He's got it completely in front of him where the cameras cannot see. So he knows this area. He obviously has studied the camera because he wore gloves, he wore a mask, he dressed all in black. And that's the questions. How did he get in the building? Was he dressed in other clothes? Did he change clothes? Did he put that stuff on before he did this? Because that would stick out. Somebody coming in a building with a bunch of kids in there taking exams, dressed in black, mask, gloves, all that. I get it's cold. I understand it's cold, but we're in 2025. Do you know how many people walk around in masks and dress in black all the time and no one even looks at them? I mean, that's just a natural thing if you're out in these cities and these big areas of population people. That's what you see. There's a lot of people nowadays that dress in black. They wear these masks. They wear these black hats. So who's to know what? I mean, he's not. It doesn't
I'm
look like he's
confident they
carrying a
have.
bag or anything. That's what gets me to think that he's carrying something in front of him because he has a jacket on. He's not got a backpack on. Like he didn't, it doesn't look like he's carrying a big supply of ammunition or anything like that. Um, to me, it seems like he's carrying a single, gun. So,
Much more video. Additionally, they will lean into things like AI and geo
and
tracking.
I think that they did say that they were shot with a firearm, like a pistol. So,
To get potential
I don't
pathways,
know, maybe.
behaviors, and some confirmation as to if they're looking at different video evidence that shows it being the same person in the same locations. And they can tie rather quickly now, contemporarily, they can tie together events tied to victims and where shootings were, where other evidence was left, say like shell casings, to positions of video. And
So what's AI going to do? Like honestly, these people are depending way too much on AI to. Oh, they're going to say, oh, what is AI going to show that there's shell casing somewhere else and all that? And I know what he's saying. Oh, the videos can do. How can a video that you don't know where you're looking for, what you're looking? Yeah, you can look for shell case. That doesn't mean that the cameras are going to be able to detect it right now. AI, I don't think is that advanced yet. And if it is, then they've got more AI than they're given to the American public, which I believe is true. Of course, our government always keeps everything for themselves. Excuse me, guys. I'm still sick from the other day. Okay, so here's the thing about the school, Brown University, guys. This is sad. They're paying that dean lady that don't know shit. Didn't even after 6 hours, didn't even know what was going on, didn't know where the kids were, didn't know what room they were in, none of that shit. They're paying her, I think they said $3 million a year. The school, Brown University, right here is facts. I've looked this up, I've done my study. They're sitting on $8 billion. $8 billion sitting on it. Okay. Here's the thing. Brown is known for the most liberal school there is. That's the fact. They are known for the most liberal school. They're known to push out these more liberal kids than any other college. Now that is sad. That is sad. And you're paying a woman $3 million a year that don't even know anything about why the students were there, where they were at. 6 hours later, you still ain't got no information. That's funny. It's not funny. It's sad that we pay these people to be over these college kids, our children, and millions of dollars, and they don't have a clue what they're doing. They don't have a clue what their students are doing.
it gives them a lot of information. Of course, it takes people and officers to respond to the things that are developing here, but they're working on it. You would have this broken down into components. The component is the search, and the component is the investigation. And the search component is also largely looking for, again, they have to determine.
Let's see if we can get this clip. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to see if I can find this one of her speaking. That's what I want to do. I want to find. Yeah, this lady is these people are like fruitcakes. There are guns in the hands of too many people. Really? I mean, I don't think so. I think it needs to be more. Let's see. I mean, what do y'all think? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. Do you think America is going to be like Australia? I mean, do you believe that we're going to be, I just don't know if we're going to be able to take away everybody's firearms. And I don't believe of course they don't have the right to do that. Not yet. But here's the thing. if you keep voting these Omars in office, this is exactly what you're going to get. Okay, here's something I wanted to show right here. Let's see. This is about Australia and what? John Featherman. Yeah, right here.
My message to Jewish Australians is that your fellow Australians stand with you tonight in condemning this act of terror, in condemning this outrage.
This
I
Prime
suppose
Minister.
we have had a number of conversations with people tonight. One of the Jewish community leaders said to me that we know where anti-Semitism leads, that it leads to an attack on everyone, not just Jewish Australians.
And that's the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, earlier this morning on the terrorist attack directed at a Hanukkah celebration being held on Bondi Beach in Sydney that left at least 11 of Israel. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning. You heard the Prime Minister, your reaction to what has taken place.
I would say, yeah, of course, we should all universally condemn all of these things. I mean, just imagine two people, organized to try to kill as many Jews as possible. And thankfully that stopped. But I mean, almost 30 people wounded, 12, I'm reading 12 people killed. I mean, just for celebrate a holiday right now. I mean, it's astonishing. And now, like, you witnessed that in Australia for years, these massive kinds of anti-Israel protests again and again and again in those kinds of places. It's like, those things kind of penetrate. And now, so that's where we're at. I mean, how can't we just defend, a lot of these views and not just call it what it is? Anti-Semitism is a worldwide scourge, and it's constantly demonstrated to be deadly, and it keeps manifest itself in these things, just like what's happened now in Australia.
John Featherman, I don't know why he hasn't already joined the Republicans. I'll be honest. When he had that, the stroke, I think it woke him up. I think it put common sense back in his brain. Like, he has completely been speaking out towards the Democrats, against them. He's not down with the wokey stuff. Not really. And here's the thing about John. He's not ashamed to say what he feels. He's not ashamed to tell these other Democrats, what he's thinking. But they keep talking about anti-Semitism and all this stuff. Where's it really coming from? Who is doing the attacks? Honestly, who's doing the attacks? Every time we see it on the news, every time there's a mass shooting, who is it? It's the Muslims, guys. Just the truth. There's the truth. Every time that there's attack on the Jewish people, who is it? You don't see the white people out here doing mass shootings on the Jewish people. But the Democrats have believed that, and they think it's okay just to open their borders and allow anybody to come in and out. There should not be a border. That's what they say. There should not be borders. People should be able to freely come in here and go as they want. Excuse me. Come in here, work, do what they want, leave. What the Democrats won't admit is, and they know this, there are borders on every country. You can't just go into any country you want to, in and out, do what you please. There are countries like Russia, Ukraine, China, all these places. If you go in there without a passport, without papers, you're going to a camp for 2 years, or you're going for longer. You're going to prison. They do not allow that. You can't just go in unless, like the UK, they just open up their gates like that, Prime Minister, the wokey dude, and just say, here, come on in, guys. Just like the Biden administration. They did the same thing.
Australia too.
That's right. And Senator, a moment ago, Lindsey Graham was with me, your colleague from South Carolina, who said a warning to anyone who is trying to say that there should be a Palestinian state. If you create a Palestinian state, what you will get are more killings of Jews. Do you agree?
See? And I don't agree with the Lindsey Graham a lot. I don't care much for Lindsey Graham. But when they speak this, it's the truth. When you create a Palestinian state, when you allow these Muslims to come in here and do this shit, what do? They They cannot assimilate to the Western culture. They cannot assimilate to our, laws, rules, any of that stuff. Their religion, in my opinion, is fruitcake. It's not a religion; it's an ideology, and that's my opinion. And they all they always have a hidden agenda.
Absolutely, it's an absolute betrayal for Israel and for the worldwide Jewish community. Like whether it's France or Australia or any of these nations, our Western allies now calling for a two-state solution when Hamas refuses to disarm and are actively trying to kill Jews. I can't imagine why anybody would do that at this point. That is not the appropriate reward after 10-7 and this thing. So I absolutely support Israel's continue to take out leaders from Hamas and Hezbollah as well too. They need to be held accountable, and I do hope they can work together with the American forces in Syria to take out the people responsible for taking 2 American lives in Syria just yesterday now too.
They took 3 lives, 1 interpreter
of Israel for
in Syria.
so long.
They took 3 lives yesterday in Syria the other day. Yeah. In Syria, Saturday. They took 2 American lives and an interpreter. And of course, Trump comes out and he says, we're going to retaliate, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. I hope we do. We need to. We need to show, force, strength. We have huge news also, if you're not familiar. God mighty. Sorry, guys. I'm still sick. If you haven't heard, here's something. If you have not heard about what's going on the internet, we have Candace Owens and Erica Kurt meeting in private today. They are meeting in private today, guys. Why? Nobody knows. They said everything's on hold right now. The live streams, the tweets, to all this stuff, they've agreed to hold things. Let's go over here and see if I can find this tweet. I've got it over here on my Instagram page. Okay, let's see. Share this one instead. Yes. Let's see. Let me get over here. We're going to show this in just a second. As soon as I can pull this up, go to the profile. Okay, let's see right here. Well, I can't show that one because it is got music in it. Of course. Huh. Let's get back out of here. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's right here. Let's stop that real quick. So let's go over here. This is the breaking news from this morning. Hey guys, what's up? Yeah. This is the breaking news from this morning, guys. Right here. If you listen.
A planned New Year's Eve terror attack in Los Angeles. 4 suspects in custody. The FBI identifying them as members of a pro-Palestine extremist group. They're suspected of planning coordinated IED attacks targeting 5 different locations in Los Angeles. But based on the reporting now, that plot has been foiled. We will wait for more out of LA or out of Washington, D.C. for what the FBI has to say about that.
Good. That's good. That's good. That's good news. That, if they've stopped it, they completely, that's awesome news. I can't find that quote. Anyways, let's get back to what I was saying. So Erica and Candace is meeting private. What's up, Quick Shoot? Yes, they're meeting in private today. They will be, let's see. I know there's a channel over here. I've got it somewhere. USA Today. Let's see if they've got it. they're talking about Rob Reiner right now. FBI, let's see. FBI stops LA 4 Yep. Okay. Now people like to really copyright. These people are sad. They have millions of followers, these news outlets. They have millions of followers, man. Millions. And then if you use any of their clips, they copyright you. They're so scared to, somebody to actually show their stuff. I think it's like childish. Um, let's see what. Let's see. Let's get over here. Ron DeSantis is doing a lot in Florida. Let's see. Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Okay, I think she posted that. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. I know she did on Twitter. Uh, maybe she didn't post it over here. I was looking at her post a minute ago. This is all she cares about, guys. This right here is all that lady cares about. Top podcast. That's all she wants. That's all she cares about. It's all about me, me, me. Okay, I can't find her post there. Anyways, I've got it in my phone. I just can't. I don't have the system right now to be able to link my phone to my laptop because this laptop's cheap and it sucks until I get my new one. Associated Press. Let's go over here and see what they're doing. Let's see. See, I don't just go on Fox News like everybody thinks, man. I actually have all these channels because I want to hear everybody else's position. I want to make my own choice and so I research this stuff. And that's what I want to do. And that's what I bring it to you guys so you can make a choice. Yeah, it's not over there. Like I said, if you really believe that with the Candace and Erica things going on, here's the thing. If you believe, I think there's so many people trying to hold on to Charlie's memory and Charlie's position. I think in a way, why in the hell does Erica owe Candace anything? And why does Candace owe Erica anything? You know what I mean? Like, Candace is going to do her podcast no matter what Erica says today, in my opinion. You think she's going to stop? She asked her to stop the other day on the news. She didn't do it. She still went on. So I don't choose sides on this. But what I'm going to tell you right here, in my opinion, now this is my opinion, people that helped the nation, that actually helped Trump win in 2016, if it wasn't from Charlie reaching to the young people and Elon and, RFK in 2024, but in 2016, guess what? Hillary Clinton would be your president, or would have been your president in 2024. This is the influence, seriously, that has reached Charlie, Elon, and RFK Jr. That's the truth. 2024, you would have Kamala Harris as your president right now. This country would be in shambles. There would be tax daily. The borders would still be open. That is a fact. Why do I know that's a fact? Because they did it for 4 years. They did that shit for 4 years. These young women getting essayed all over the places. They couldn't go run in the park. They're scared to go out. They're scared to go shopping. They're scared to take a jog. All that shit. They cannot. They're not safe when you have open borders. And I'm not shitting you. I truly believe it. If it wasn't from Charlie reaching the younger kids on campuses, leading more people to the conservative side, you got Scott Presley. That guy helped a ton up there where Trump was shot, that state. He brought a ton of people to register to vote in 2024. Scott Pressler, or something like that. I believe he was another one that was very influential. You know what I mean? Like, he is completely these 3-4 people. This is why Trump is president. That's why Trump won the majority vote, because all these younger generations follow Charlie, Elon, RFK Jr. If you don't believe me, go look at when Trump would bring RFK or Elon or these people on stage at the rallies. There were people just, loving it. They were cheering. They got excited for this administration. And that's just the fact. That is the fact. Even if you don't like it, that's still the fact. Trump's still your president. That's the bottom line. You may deny him, but he's still, and I don't know the man, don't care to know him. But here's the thing. Is he the better choice? Hell yeah, he was the better choice. Is he actually trying? I believe the man loves America. You got to respect him to some point. You don't have to. I'm saying, for me, I respect the man to a point. I don't look at him as, oh, he was, had his own TV show. He's a billionaire. I don't look at that shit. I look at what he's doing for the country. I look at what he's going to make safe. He's going to make this country safer for my children and my grandchildren. You understand? I'm not looking at, oh, he tweeted mean tweets. He's mean. He's a racist. I don't give a shit. I don't think he's racist enough. Just to be honest. Not about black and white. I just think that he should be harder. And he can sit and talk about and call these people bad names like Ilhan Omar, all these people. It doesn't change if you're not fucking deporting them out of this country. If you're not getting these people out of this country, what good is the fucking talk? Honestly, it doesn't help to do that. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it helps if you're just going to spew the talk and no action. And I truly believe one of Trump's downfalls is the fucking Epstein shit. Just release it. We want accountability. There are too many people that screaming accountability. We want that. If those people are rich and powerful, we need to know. We need to know who's influencing these people in America. We need to know if they're like they have done anything sinister. We need to know that, because they do not need to be in office, or they do not need to be in a position where they can influence politicians. They need to be in a dark fucking hole. That's the bottom line right there. Oh, okay. No, the Second Amendment carrying is the only reason that people in this country is safe. It ain't about giving them out. This is what I love about libtards. Man, they're wackadoodles. Oh, you guys got guns. Yeah, because the people that are on the right, we believe in actually carrying for protection. The people on the left believe in guns for actually using them against people. That's on the right. And that's fact. And like I said, if anybody has a response time, you have a terror attack in Australia. It took 20 minutes for the police to get there. That is insane. That is crazy to take 20 minutes to get to somewhere. And then the Brown shooting. I've researched this. 17 guys for any police to get to the campus. There should have been police on that campus. That's why I believe that every state should be allowing, to carry. Carrying laws should be in every state, because I truly believe that. There would be less of these people if people were able to carry. And here's the thing that pisses me off. They wait till after something happens. Well, where's the red flags? There were red flags. Where was the red flags? Why didn't we see this coming? Well, first of all, you should have saw it because you don't allow people to carry. First of all, you got classrooms full of college kids in a woke fucking ideology college. You should have had a security guard at that, 2 or 3 of them at the doors or in there walking around. You should have had more security, especially when you have a room full of, young kids taking exams. Now these kids have had experienced this, you know, sickening person doing this shit. I'm not saying they can't handle it. I'm saying if someone was carrying a responsible 20-something-year-old college student, they could have, got rid of the threat quick. They could have eliminated that threat because it took the police 17 minutes to get there. And then they could have been sitting there waiting on the police saying, well, there's no threat anymore. Here's your guy because, I shot him. Now, I believe that. I believe that these people that's responsible should be able to carry and on campus, or you should have. Now, I'm not saying high schools and elementary. I'm saying colleges. These are young adults, and there are a lot of them that's responsible. That have responsibilities. They know how to carry weapons. They've been trained. They've grown up around them. They've grown up shooting them. I'm telling you right now, if you can't do that, then you better hire some fucking security. And I mean more than one fat dude waiting for his next smoke break and eating donuts. I'm talking about you hire some ex-military guys to walk that campus, to guard those rooms and allow them to carry because they know what a threat is. They know exactly what a threat is. There should be people like that at every school, every elementary, every high school. There should be guards. You shouldn't have one officer walking around somewhere lost in the school. What if something happens up front in the office or towards the front doors and stuff? Where's that officer? I've seen it many times where I go to my kid's high school and that officer's nowhere to be seen because he's off talking to some teacher or some student somewhere in a hallway, 200 yards away. What's he going to do? He's going to be out of breath before he even gets to the damn, to what's going on. That's the sad thing. These people cannot be trusted. They need to run through a security team that is ex-military and vet these people, vet these veterans that can do this and that can handle these situations. Because there's a lot of veterans that did not come home with PTSD, and that's not having issues. There's a lot of veterans that come home and get jobs, and they're capable, and they wish to God that these people would give them a job doing this because they love that shit, and they would protect these kids. They would protect these kids in a minute. I'm telling you right now, I truly believe all these veterans, they need to work. If you're capable of working and they want to work in that kind of field that they came out of, give them jobs. What is stopping you? It's these stupid woke liberal Democrats that keep trying to implement these laws because they want to take our rights away. And when you take our Second Amendment away, what do you think our country is going to look like? The UK, Australia. We're going to have a president that's sitting there like the prime minister saying some crazy shit that just opens the gate. Do you know how many people is saying it's his fault because he has welcomed all these people in that country? There is tons of them. And it's the truth. It's the truth. When your prime minister or your leaders allow this shit to happen, guess what? You're to blame. They always say the buck stops with the president or the leader. Exactly. So you're to blame. Yeah, that's live. I can't show that one. That is actually live. Yes. So there's a lot of information. There's a lot of news going on about that. And they did say Rob Reiner, the director, actor, and his wife that was stabbed to death yesterday. Did you see how quick social media people post? Were like, who ooh, a terror attack in Australia. But then this is what the media does, guys. They throw out all this shit. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying it's like, look here while we're over here, like post this, but 5 minutes later, oh, look, actor and director Rob Reiner and his wife was stabbed to death in their home. Who did it? Well, now they're saying we have no suspects, blah, blah, blah. LAPD arrested. See, the son. I told you from the beginning. They arrested the son, Nick Reiner. That's breaking news in connection with his parents' murder. We knew this. Why? Because he's a drug addict. The son is known to be heavy on drugs. He was probably wanting money, and it just didn't go his way, so he just unalived him. That is the truth. That is the truth right there. It's breaking right now. They have him in custody in LA in the jail. Yes. I knew it from the beginning. I seen it. I seen this coming. Yes, it is something. It's crazy. And that's what I'm saying. You guys don't understand. 34 to 35% of Americans own firearms. That's low, guys. That's low. It needs to be 90% of Americans own firearms. That's the truth, in my opinion. That's the truth. Because there would be less of this shit going on. And that's what they did. So how many people jumped on the bandwagon in the sheeps and said, oh, look, Rob Reiner's, I did. Of course, yeah, I do. I do it too. But I'm still talking about the Australia, the terror attack, the Muslim, the Islamic terror. Here's the thing. I don't just go from one topic to the next and forget about all that shit. A lot of these people jump on that train because it's social media. They want clicks and views. They want, somebody to follow them. They want to build their channels, and they ain't using it for real networking. And that's okay. If that's what they do, that's their business. It's their channel. They can do what they want. It's no one's business. But when you're putting out information and not backing it with any, real facts or anything like that, and you're just jumping on the train, are you really being constructive? I mean, are you really changing anything? Are you really like what is your goal of social media? Are you're just on social media to be on there, just to do what everybody else does? A lot of people say that. They'll say it about me. I don't care, but I don't. I've been on here for over 10 years. This is my 4th channel. I've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. Live streaming, it doesn't matter. I have been doing this thing for years. You ask anybody that knows me. I'm trying to find that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so the breaking news is that, his son is his son is locked up there. The son is a suspect. Yep, here it is. Let's see. Right here. Let's see. I found one of them. I found a clip. Let's go back to it. Okay. Let's see. Let's get this video pulled up. Share. Rob Reiner in custody. Yes. The kid is in custody. What is that smell? I smell food. I smell food, guys. I smell food. Okay. Let's get over here. Let's see if we can put it on the screen. So right here. Huh.
Some breaking news as TMZ is reporting that Nick Reiner is now in custody. Here is that post on X. So Rob and Michelle Reiner's son, Nick, now in custody. The 32-year-old is in the custody of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department as of this morning. That's according to online records. Now, TMZ also reporting the couple was found by one of their daughters Sunday with their throat slit inside their Los Angeles home. Nick Reiner currently being questioned by police, but Fox News also saying that LAPD says there's still no suspect at this time. So this is just coming into our newsroom. If you are just tuning in, actor and director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Reiner have died. They were found Sunday at a Brentwood, California home. And we are waiting here for an update from officials. We do have our Fox.
I mean, look at him. Does he look like anything of that picture that they just showed? This old, neat boy, you know what I mean? This young looking, younger 20-something-year-old upstanding citizen kid. Why is it always the famous people's kids are the most fucked up people in this country or in the world? It's funny, ain't it? Like all these famous people, you know why? Because they have no structure. They give them what they want. They pay for everything. If they have a brand new car at 15, 16, oh, I wrecked my car. It's okay, honey. I'll just buy you another one. Excuse me. They spoil their kids, which I could see it to a point. Really. I spoil my children, or I have. They're almost grown. And I still do things for them. Like I still put gas in my daughter's car every week so she can go to college because she lives at home. Because it's tough. It's tough on a kid. She works and goes to medical school, so it's hard. But does he look like a upstanding? I mean, you can see he looks like he's high as shit in that picture. I mean, seriously.
Team out there as we've been waiting here for this update. Last time we checked in with our Fox team, they said it could be a window between 5 to 6 hours. Now, that was a couple hours ago at this point. With this news coming out here, though, we may be anticipating that here very shortly. But the New York Post also confirming Rob Reiner's son, Nick, in custody after horrifying murder of Princess Bride, director and wife. And we do have several live images coming in here from Los Angeles. This is outside of the Reiner's residence here today. And we have been seeing a huge media presence. The camera may turn here in just a moment here to give you a broader view. But the media all set up outside of that residence there, as our crew has been there very early this morning. As we continue to follow this news now that Nick Reiner now in custody. Now, we've had several reactions coming in here. One from President Trump that I did want to share with you that he posted on X. This is his statement saying, "A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to."
I love this guy. I mean, the shit that he can come out with. And this is why, because I'm a very blunt person too. This is I speak freely. I don't care. I don't have time to argue with people in my chat. I don't care if you call me whatever. I don't give a shit. That doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't think on that shit. You don't live in my head. And I love that. This is one of the biggest things that I love about Trump. He comes right off the cuff. He will speak his mind. He tells you exactly what he's thinking. So nobody should say, well, I'm going to question Trump, because he speaks it. He tells you what he's thinking. Now, you may not like it. It may hurt your feelings. You may go cry to your mama, or you may say, Mama, I need another energy drink in my basement, But I'm telling you, Trump don't have time. He's got up there in age. You understand? Like he's always been like, he doesn't give a shit. What's he got to lose by telling the truth? And me too. What do I got to lose? Trust me, if you knew certain things in my life, in my situation, I'm dying every day, bro. I could go every day, any day. You think I worry about any of these libtards or anybody? I care about the people closest to me. I care about my friends. I care about my family, God. But do you think I'm sweating and worrying about somebody out here, some wokey out here in Portland, holding up a sign saying free, retards? No, I don't give a shit about them. They don't affect me. They're not the things that we have to change is the law. We have to get the right people in office. And that's not going to happen as long as the wokies are voting in the Democrats, the woke activists. They're not even Democrats. They're activists. Exactly.
As TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. With the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. So President.
And the reason Trump says that is because Rob Reiner he did have Trump derangement syndrome. I think he was on the Bill Maher show, the one where he sits in his house in the two seats and they talk. Dude, he is completely deranged with Trump derangement syndrome. He was like, he can't stand Trump. Of course, we know Hollywood don't like Trump because Trump knows Trump has all the dirt on him. They all wanted to be around Trump for years. They wanted to go to Trump parties. You could see many, many pictures of them just like Whoopi Goldberg. Trump gave her first 2 jobs. Stand-up comedian. and he's playing in his casino palaces or whatever. He gave so many people a chance. Everybody wanted to be. Trust me, if you're in that famous crowd and rich crowd, why do they? Excuse me. Why do they always flock to the billionaires, to the more famous people than them? Why do they always, flock to those people? Well, they want the publicity. They want to know what that person can do for them. You know what I mean? They wanted Trump because Trump was so he could network so much and he was so popular and famous. They thought that, and a lot of them did benefit off of being friends with Trump. And that's what kills me when they say Trump's a racist. Really? Dude, you hung out with him for 35 years and friends with him. But all of a sudden now that in a year that he's said he's going to run for president, he's a racist and you don't like him. But you used him. You used him for 35 years to benefit your career and all this shit to get famous or whatever. But now he's bad man. You know what I mean? Now he's orange man bad. It's so funny that how quick they turn. And if you think that they won't turn on you, they will turn on you just as quick. They will turn on the American people and these famous people. That's the thing. Every one of them out there that says this about Trump, everyone that says Trump's evil, oh, Trump's bad, Trump's bad. They're not worrying about grocery prices. They got people to go to the store and get their shit for them. They're not worrying about gas prices because they have enough money that it doesn't affect them. Just like the Nancy Pelosi's. They love to fearmonger people. Oh, you're not going to be able to buy your groceries or pay your rent. Yeah, we ain't, but you are. You don't really care. None of them, even Republicans, they don't give a shit. Why? Because they actually have enough money of our money that it doesn't affect them. They just look good. All they want to do is talk good about America when they're in front of a camera. That's the truth.
Trump just weighing in there. We wanted to bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox.
It's sad
we do
that
have
our
another
people
reaction
allow
coming
this
in here from
shit.
former President Barack Obama saying, Michelle and I are heartbroken by the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his beloved wife, Michelle. Rob's achievements in film and television gave us some of our most cherished stories on screen, but beneath all of the stories he produced was a deep belief in the goodness of people and a lifelong commitment to putting that belief into action. Together, he and his wife lived lives defined by purpose. They will be remembered for the values they championed and the countless people they inspired. We send our deepest condolences to all who loved them. So once again, these are just some reactions coming in here to this news. We also do have this live look out of Los Angeles, which is Rob Reiner's star there on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I agree with you on
Once again,
that
a
one.
press conference set to get underway here, hopefully
All
within
of
the
them should
next
be
couple of
deported
hours
back.
as we are learning this breaking news
Get 'em
just
the
in our
fuck out of
newsroom.
this country.
Rob and Michelle Reiner's son, Nick, now in custody. Important to note here once again, though,
He
he's
probably
currently being
did it.
questioned by police. Fox News saying LAPD says there's still no suspect at this time. We will continue to follow this story. We're going to step
Well,
away
here's
for
the thing. Most times when a stabbing occurs, when people like get stabbed, that is intimate. That's feelings. That's, that's personal. Because we know there's been Hollywood homes that's been, broken into and robbed and stuff like that. There's been a trend of those people. If you don't know, there's a trend of those people that's been robbing Hollywood homes, these famous people, these rich people's homes. I don't believe that's what it is right now. And this is just my opinion. This is for entertainment only. Please hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. If not, it's okay. Still hit the subscribe button. We do have memberships. Here's the thing. When you use a knife, if you go back and look up the statistics in the history of people that's been slain with knives, their throats cut. That's personal. Do you understand? To me, did the best thing by going straight to the kids, straight to him, because it's usually a family member or somebody closest to you when it's personal like that. Now, I know a lot of you younger generations don't understand what I'm talking about. You can Google the stuff I've actually lived. That's the point. You guys are actually Googling things that I've lived through. I used to Google things and that would happen centuries ago and a long time ago. But you guys are actually Googling stuff nowadays. And I'm talking about the young generation of, late teens and early 20s. You guys, when you get on here and Google or Gronk and ask Gronk or Siri, whatever stuff, that's shit that us older people, we've lived through this stuff. So we have these experiences. We know this stuff. We've been there. We've done all this. We played on the hot playgrounds. We're not just sitting here talking about how we, got to stay outside until the porch light come on or the street light. We lived through that shit, man. We experienced all those. We didn't have internet and phones to sit in our bedrooms and hide on and be a tough guy on the internet and then, get in public and fold. No, I truly believe this is personal. I believe it looks to me, that completely looks personal, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So I think it's something they're gonna come out
Another
later
commercial
on
break
or
here
tomorrow
online
or
now from
something.
Fox. Much
You
more to
wait
come.
and see. Yeah, they're gonna say, hey, we have him. We've now. They're saying he's not in custody, but they're saying he's arrested. They arrest him, but he's not in custody. Now, what sense does that make? That makes no sense. Well, he's in jail or he's at the police, but he's not arrested. He's not in custody. So you're just going to hold somebody without arresting them? That shows you that they're going against the Constitution, which California is kind of, Looney Tunes anyways. It's like the Roadrunner chasing the coyote chasing the Roadrunner out there in California. They're all ass backwards. So I think that we've got to completely watch out by allowing all these people. But to get off that subject with him, we will. Okay, yeah. So the police are still searching for we're going to get off Rob Reiner. I never really cared for the guy. I think it's sad that him and his wife is, dead. Unfortunate act that if it is the son, shame on him. I hope he gets what he, deserves if it's him. Uh, I had heard reports that he was heavy into drugs. So that could be, kind of a motive or something. I think it's personal. So, but back to this Muslim, Islamic, or whatever you guys want to discuss. I think they do not belong in this country. They do not assimilate to our ways, to the Western ways. They come over to conquer and take over. And if we're not careful, seriously, if we're not careful, they're going to do to America what they're doing to the UK. You guys say, "Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about." The UK ain't like bullshit. Just because it's still got a white prime minister doesn't mean that he's a wackadoodle, man. He's allowed this shit. Just go look up any real person on social media that's really showing the evidence. It's a shame. They've took damn near all the rights, their freedom of speech. You can't say anything. You can't even tweet, anything that says anything towards, the LGBT or Israel or anything like that. They've arrested so many people over there. America, I don't believe America will fall. I believe there will be the patriots that stand up like me. And I'm going to tell you something. When you get on here and you get online and you spew hate and all that stuff, guess who's going to be next to you? Guess who's going to have your six? When you're on here saying, oh, we want a white nation again and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Guess who would really stand up and fight against real terror? Guess who's going to be beside your side? The black people. I promise you, there's a lot of black people that will stand up and will fight next to you. That's the God's honest truth. No matter who our enemies are, they're the conservative black people love this country. Now, not all black people, but I promise you, and we got a real sick system with a lot of black people still blaming the white people for something that happened, 200 years ago. They still blame the white people today. We want reparations. Well, you got your reparations. It's called welfare, food stamps, government housing. We've given it to you since the 60s, 70s. Come on. You've got it. You've had it. You've made it generational. Your families have lived off of it. Now, if you're poor, you can't do nothing about it. But if you're able to work, there's no excuse. So when people get on here spewing like, "Oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do this," and this country will never be white again because the white people is only what 8% of the world. So the white people are actually outnumbered, but Americans are not. That's the difference. The American people are America. We can stop this invasion. Do you understand? Because that's what it is. The Biden administration opened up the gates and they allowed an invasion. Just like I just showed you. Breaking news was, they're live. I cannot show it right now because they're live and they will hit me. They stopped the 4 guys for the New Year's Eve terror attack in LA. Now, LA is the number 1 highest rated illegal. They allow illegals in, all this shit. They don't care. They don't, you know what I mean? Gavin Newsom doesn't give a shit about that state. He really don't. He wants anything goes. He allows anything to go. And that's the problem. When you look at the blue states like that, and and the FBI is having to stop and these terror attacks that's going to happen in those woke cities. I mean, seriously, who do you blame? The leader of that state. You don't blame Trump, you blame the leader because Gavin Newsom has allowed that shit to happen. Now, if Trump was to not shut the border down, I would blame Trump. You understand how that works? So, like I said, the Biden administration opened up. Oh no, the border's secure. The border's secure. You got 300,000 people coming in 1 month. How is that secure? And of course, they keep saying, "Oh well, if they would have signed the border bill, yeah, that still allowed 5,000 illegals a day to come in. One illegal is one too many." And the only reason I say that, I don't think immigration is bad. I just think we need to vet these people right. And I can promise you, there's more Latino, Mexican people from here that's Americans that will agree with me. And if you don't believe me, go ask them. They will tell you they don't like illegal immigrants coming in from over there because 99% of the time their people had to do it right. Their people had to go through due process. Their people actually came in here legally, or they waited years to do this, and they became citizens. That's the truth. That's the truth. And they cannot stand for an illegal. So, and that's the truth. We're not I mean, look at the investigation that's going on in Omar and Tim Waltz, over $1 billion. It's completely sickening to know that these young people and those leaders and those politicians, I think they knew. I think they may not have been part of it, but they had some idea. You can't sit and say, where did that money go, and not know where it went. You can't be. In Tim Waltz, I guess is he that clueless, or was he in on it? I mean, if I'm a governor and there's $1 billion come up missing, I mean, are you that stupid? Or you just turn your head and let him do whatever? I think he just turned his head and let him do whatever. That's my opinion. I think he just completely like turned his head and was like, y'all do whatever you want. You know, I think that's completely what he did. Uh, I don't think that he cares about that state. I think he wants to make it as disgusting as he can. Okay, I found the clip, guys. I found the clip. Let's see if we can get it back up here. Okay, let's see right here. Let's see if we can get it on the screen. Yes, right here. Right here. Let's see. Ready?
Erica Kirk says she will be speaking privately with podcast host Candace Owens later today about theories surrounding her husband's murder. Owens has publicly speculated that the man who authorities arrested in Charlie Kirk's assassination was not the actual culprit. It's something Erica addressed last week.
When you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no, my message to them is to stop.
Erica Kirk confirming the meeting on X, saying they agreed to have a private in-person discussion and that all other public discussions about the topic will be on hold until the two meet together.
Until they meet today. What do y'all think about that? I think it's none of, I mean, who is Candace? Honestly, let's look at this. Who is Candace? She's a podcaster. Why is she entitled to any fucking answers? I don't care if that company is worth 500 million. It's not government. It's not anyone's business what they do. It's not a government. It's in the private sector. Charlie built that with his bare hands. It was a social media company at first. That's exactly what it was. He built social media, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. He debated these people. He built Turning Point. He built that with his hands. So why is it anyone's business? Yes, Candace worked there for a little while and would go with him, but Charlie got more famous than she did. I think that's the stick. I think that's the issue because, oh, look, he got more famous. He got more awards when he died. He got his name plattered. He got a monument. Who is she? Who is she now or anytime? She's a podcaster. Why does she feel entitled to any answers? And the same with Erica. And here's the thing. People are saying, well, she shouldn't be doing this book tour. She shouldn't be doing this book tour. She shouldn't be doing this or that. Here's what I have a question for. Honestly. Well, she shouldn't be put in that position. See, Candace was jealous because she didn't get the CEO of Turning Point. She thought she was going to be the next voice because of Charlie. Honestly, the way she talks on her podcast, it's exactly what she thought. It's all about her. It's all about her. We're going to look here.
Photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate show the convicted sex offender's connections to powerful men, including.
Yeah, because we're going to show the bullshit pictures that they released here in a second. So here's the thing I get aggravated with. Here's the thing I get aggravated with. Make sure you support the channel, guys. This shit ain't free. Any support. Subscribe, like, comment. Erica's promoting Charlie's book. Candace is like, if you got time to do all this and you're the CEO now, then you make time for me. You make time for me. I don't agree with that. It's not a government business. It's not in the government sector. It's a private sector business. It's a private business. Why does she deserve it? Why does she deserve it? Candace keeps saying, why does she deserve it? Well, first of all, I can tell you why, because she was Charlie's wife and there's a board meeting that votes her in and they voted her as CEO. That's the basic bottom answer right there. There's a board at Turning Point. They have a board members, all that. They voted because that's what Charlie's wish was. You know why? Because that was his wife. If I die today, all my shit goes to my wife and my children. Do you understand? That's how it works. And for someone to say you owe us answers, why does somebody owe you answers? You got to make time. Well, they invited you like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. They did it live. It said, come on, come out here, sit down. We will answer your questions. We will do a live stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Oh, my husband said no, and he runs his house. I just can't make. I got the text at midnight. So you wake up and you reply the next day, and you schedule a day, and you fly out there. Why wouldn't she go? Oh, my husband said no. Bullshit. The way your attitude is, your husband don't run that household. You are, because you like to be the boss babe. But you got time to go hang out in Dollywood and run around. He's worried about my security. Hire security. You're a millionaire. You're a multi-millionaire. Multi. Oh, oh, we're not safe, really. But you're running around Dollywood with your family where there's thousands of people in a theme park. You're in a theme park having fun, eating cotton candy, ice cream, riding rides, and you're not worried about your security there. Or you go to Tucker Carlson's Christmas party in Nashville and you're partying it up. They're, not worried about security there. How much does it cost to rent a private jet plane? $3,000. She makes that in 5 minutes off her chat. She could have flew out there for 2 or 3 hours, sit down, done that within 5, 6, 7 hours. She could have been back at home privately, would have been fine. They've got more security at Turning Point than anybody because of all the shit that's going on. They have to ask your questions, but no, you denied it. Then you come out like 2 days later on your stream and say, she needs to sit down and answer my questions. She needs to sit down and answer the questions. She's a CEO. She just got pushed into the place. She did this, that. That's not your business. Who are you? You're a podcaster that has millions of followers because you're pushing crazy ass conspiracies and there's people that follow. That's fine. I have nothing against Candace Owens. I listened to her for a long time when she first started because I thought she was really for the right and really for the conservatives. I did. But when she started going on and on about all this shit, sometimes things happen in the way it looks, and we don't get all the answers we want. Now, I'm not saying I have a problem with her asking, questions about certain things. Fine. But when you try to humiliate and tear somebody's legacy down, that's jealousy, man. That's pure jealousy. I truly believe it. I'm not joking. I believe she was jealous. I thought it sounded more like a scorned ex-girlfriend. Maybe she was mad because Charlie didn't marry her because she met her husband. And then they said, well, Charlie and Erica was like set up. They met in Israel. Really? I thought they met in New York at a restaurant. He was telling the story. He was interviewing for a job and he said, no, I want to marry you. I don't want to hire you. I want to marry you. He fell in love with her. But Candace goes and meets her husband in 18 days. They're engaged. 18 days. That's not even enough time to get to know anybody. That's not enough time to even get to know their family, to know that this person is suitable for you. But you want to question somebody else's, supposedly your best friend? Sounded like a scorned ex-girlfriend, in my opinion. Sounded exactly like, oh, I'm mad because you didn't marry me and we didn't build this company together and we didn't have all these fame and riches. You know what I mean? That's what it truly sounds, because I live in reality. I see this. And when I'm watching this is what I see. Somebody that's jealous that they have more, that Charlie has more. He has the key to the White House, basically. He did. He had the key to he could call Trump on the cell phone. He could call any of those people up there in Trump's office. He could go to the White House anytime he wanted. Where's Candace? She's sitting on a podcast in her living room or kitchen, wherever, doing a podcast. Where's she at? She didn't get that luxury key. You know what I mean? She didn't get that key to the White House, to Trump's ear. She didn't get that. Even Charlie even said when they was started to attack Iran, Charlie said, I called him and said, dude, I just don't think that's a good idea. I think that's truly what happened. She was jealous. Now, like I said, I'm not for either one. It's not my life. I'm not questioning their money. They want to take in 150 million this year. Turning Point, fine. We live in America. We believe in capitalism. We believe that you can make as much money as you want. You know why you don't have to answer to the public or to some podcaster? Because we have the IRS for that shit. So if they're doing anything crooked, the IRS will catch it. We have everybody that works, even me, we have the IRS that accounts for what we do. So we don't have to tell anybody or any of our information. We don't have to tell anybody. It's not no one is entitled to what we do, our companies, how much money we make or none of that, because we have the IRS, and that is true facts right there. That's why we have the IRS, death and taxes. I agree with you, Brian. I agree. There at the end, I agree. And I know that's why I said I'm not picking sides, because they're trying to push this shit back on. They're already faking pictures of Erica wearing a Israel patch when she wasn't, in that red jacket there posing with those Fox News people. She wasn't wearing one. That was fake. I mean, it's there's so much bullshit with the internet. That's why I said what is real, what is not. You will never really know. It's just people spewing their opinions and the rhetoric. But here is something they released with Trump in a picture, and then of course they blocked out the faces. But then if you go look at the real picture, there's nothing sinister about it. You know, if you're hanging out at a big party with millionaires and billionaires, guess what? He's famous. He was famous then. Huge. Trump has always been famous. When you have your name on hotels and buildings and casinos and you're a billionaire, dude, these women want to be around you for a reason. They want you to pay their rent. They want you to take care. And I'm not saying all women, trust me. I'm saying the women in these pictures, the single women that go to these parties, they look at men that they're high status men. They're in that 1%. I'm telling you right now. And guess what? Every one of them's dying for Trump to get a rich man at one of those parties. Not just Trump, but any rich man that's single. They want, or that's married, doesn't matter. And I'm not saying all women. I'm saying these kind of women that go, the 304s and all this, they go to these nightclubs, they go to these big parties. Trump is around millionaires and billionaires in these parties. This probably wasn't even Trump's party. Do you know how many people, how many billionaires and millionaires throw parties? They're partying like every other weekend in these big plazas, these big hotels. Do you know how many people there that's actually rich? Rich people hang out with rich people, guys. That's just that's the truth. And now they're going to release these pictures, and we're going to show you what they look like, because to me, it shows more of exactly who's in them than who ain't. And I think the corporate's more likely this person here, not Trump, but
President Trump and former President Bill Clinton. The 92 images released by
Bill
House
Clinton.
Democrats include Trump surrounded by women with faces redacted and sitting.
Faces redacted. But the real picture, you can go look at it. There's nothing sinister. See, they darken this picture. If you go look at the real picture, there's people standing behind him. This is in a party. This is a party going on in like a hotel. There's tons of people there. This is the bullshit liberal media pushing this fake shit, because they do this stuff to these photos. Look at these people here on the right. See this girl back here? It ain't just girls. There's men in here laughing, smiling. There's tons of people here. There's some people thought one guy was like that Phoenix guy, but he had already passed away. That was too late. One guy thinks that one guy's like Johnny Depp or something in it. I don't think it was.
On a private plane. Another shows Clinton with Epstein.
See, they black out the face because that was actually his kid, probably not some random blonde. And what does it matter if he's on his plane with a adult woman? What does it matter? They just want to bash him and say, oh, look, he was around a bunch of women. You damn right. If I'm a multi-millionaire, billionaire like Trump, do you think that I'm going to be sitting around with my thumb up my ass? Or do you think I'm going to network with these other millionaires and billionaires, and I'm going to be invited to parties? Do you think I'm just going to sit around and do nothing? And I'm not talking about just going and having fun. I like to network for business stuff. I would go to these parties, and he probably did a lot. Do you know how many people went to those parties to just try to network with Trump for business or to make money? Just about every one of them, I'd say. Look here. Oh, Billy, oh, Bob. Billy Bob, Billy Bob. Look here. Look at those red cheeks. Who is he with right there on the right? That ain't Gladys Knight. They say Trump. That's bullshit. Trump was not at
and convicted associate
This is
Ghislaine
the
Maxwell.
lies they push,
Other notable
guys.
figures appear, including Woody
This
Allen.
is actually, see, this is why they darken out and they can do that. You can put a photo, you can get a photo in any frame, and you guys know you're not stupid. Most of you guys are gamers. You got laptops, you got editing software. You can take any fucking picture or video. You can darken the image. You can make it more light. You can actually put more color in it. Nowadays, we know how AI works. We know how editing works. You could put the, fucking Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy back there if you wanted and look real. Y'all know that.
3 Summers, Bill Gates, and Steve Bannon. The White House pushing back, claiming Democrats
This is the
cherry-picked
truth.
photos with random redactions to try to
Don't forget
create
to hit
a
the
false
like button,
narrative.
guys, and
House
subscribe.
Democrats say they released them in the name of
50
transparency.
people in here. Come
It's
on,
been
guys.
oversight
Hit the like
Democrats that
button.
fought every single time to release all this information. And there is a White House cover-up happening right now in not releasing these files that needs to end.
Trump is dismissing the new photos, saying Epstein knew hundreds of people in Palm Beach. The
He
photos
did.
came from Epstein.
Dude had a millions of dollar home there. He lived there. He stayed there. He lived in New York. He had a brownstone in New York. He had the island. Do you know how many people probably that we don't know that hung around that fool? You understand? Like, do you know how many people you would probably be shocked? They just want to blame Trump because Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. Because he's a president, because they don't like his policies, because he don't need their money. That is the whole issue. Trump is not being bought by the Democrats. Now, he may be being bought by another country, but he's not being bought by the Democrats. Do you understand what I'm saying? That every person goes in there, they try to buy and they influence to do bullshit. Every politician does backhand door deals. That's a guarantee. Why do they have a slush fund? Why do the senators and the politicians up there have this is the truth, go look it up. They have a slush fund of our taxpayer money. So when one of them gets caught cheating on their wife or needs to pay a woman to do an NDA, a non-disclosure, claimant, they take that money out of that slush fund from the taxpayers and they pay those females. They do an NDA. Now, who's the crooks? One man or the whole fucking government? All our politicians. In my opinion, it's all left and right. All the politicians, Democrat, Republican, they go up there and they're for their self. Why is Ilhan Omar worth $30 million? She don't make that kind of money being a public servant. Why did Marjorie Taylor Greene go up there worth $700K and come out $25 million? I'll call them all out. That's the thing. I don't care. I live in reality. Show me your bank stubs and I'll show you mine. We know exactly what they're for. You show me your bank account, I'll tell you what you're about.
His personal computer and email account, but provide no evidence of
See how
wrongdoing
the
and lack
picture looks all
context or
choppy?
dates.
You could tell. Yeah, here's the other picture. Yeah. Let's see if these are the pictures.
Democrats in the House Oversight Committee released more photos from the Epstein files on Friday.
The latest round of photos was released without much context, with the
look at
Noam
this.
Chomsky smiling and laughing with President Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon. Many were surprised by the picture since the two seemed far more friendly than would be expected, given their political beliefs. Writer Jason Bassler says on X, ideological enemies? Nah, it's all one big club. And the socialist activist group Community Independent Journal wrote on Facebook, this is Noam Chomsky yucking it up with Steve Bannon. Personally, I find this very disappointing, but nevertheless, he's this beloved, left-wing academic, left socialist thinker, commentator.
Oh, they're not going to show all the other pictures.
Who was known to have an association with Epstein.
They're not going to show Bill Gates, are they?
To a ton of people that were
the
seeing
pictures of Bill Gates,
and the question always goes back to who was this man? What connections did
Just
he have?
about every picture they released was Bill
Photos
Gates.
from Jeffrey Epstein's estate show the convicted sex offender's connections to
just
powerful
about
men.
every picture was Bill Gates in them. And they wonder why his wife left him. She even admitted it, said because he was fiddling with the Epstein guy. That's exactly what she said. That's exactly what she told. That's exactly what she told the damn the police and the reporters. That's exactly why. That's exactly why she told them that, guys. I left my husband because he was fiddling with Epstein. That's sickening, ain't it? I mean, let's just see if we can find it real quick. Yeah, new photos of let's see. It says Trump, but it's not. There's only a couple of them that was Trump. I want to see the ones where where Bill Gates is in all of them. That's the ones I want to see. Show me the ones where Bill Gates in them. Let's see. Yeah, they only want to show the 4 or the 3 that Trump was in at parties. Where's the Bill Gates ones? That's what I want to see. There are so many. Let me see something real quick. I think I know somebody else that did this shit that showed them maybe. Yeah, the suspect is Rob Reiner's son. If you're just coming in, they have him in custody. Well, they have him at. So I don't know. I don't think they said they've arrested him yet, but they do have Rob Reiner's son in that matter. So let's see. I'm going to show somebody else's channel. Maybe they will not. Maybe they will not hit me on this, guys. Right now, the only place I can find it here is on Benny Johnson's. You guys may know Benny Johnson. You may not. I don't know. I don't care. He's an echo chamber for the Republicans. We all know that. He's making millions of dollars off being an echo chamber. So, I mean, I'm not judging the guy. He's playing the game, you know.
Epstein for money constantly, using Epstein effectively as a proxy vote in the House. House Democrats exchanged texts.
These are some
during
sick
Trump's
pictures.
trial.
Oh yeah, graphic warning. But hey, warning right now, guys. Don't forget to support the channel, guys. Come on, too many of you in here. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, we have memberships as well. Listen, there's some graphic pictures in here. Please be aware. This is a warning.
Congressional hearings proving that Epstein hated Donald Trump and wanted to destroy his career, including hoaxing him into being some type of predator. This is available in all of the Epstein documents that they've released. Obviously, Epstein disliked Trump a lot and used President Trump for leverage.
And the reason why is because Trump wouldn't go along with his bullshit. And Trump knew he was a pedo. Trump knew he was a Fruit Loop. And Trump said, I don't want you around. And kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago years ago. But the people on the left, the libtards, can't understand that. They think Trump, orange man bad. That's all they see. They have Trump derangement syndrome.
This is something that was constantly happening with Epstein and his inner circle. He's just redacting names of supposed Trump victims that have said time and time again, like Virginia Roberts, that President Trump did nothing wrong, that they actually had a lot of respect for President Trump. He's one of the few people that tried to stop the madness. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see here a beautiful example of Stacey Plaskett, Democrat from the Virgin Islands, texting Jeffrey Epstein and then saying everything that Epstein told her to say during an anti-Trump committee hearing.
Ain't that crazy?
Okay. Like the whole thing is just completely fraudulent. All they've done is expose themselves. But now, ladies and gentlemen, they've exposed
here comes
some new
the
things.
pictures.
Finally, this isn't the end of the road for Donald Trump. This isn't, they finally got him. The walls are closing in. The Epstein evidence now. This is crazy. So let's go ahead and look at some of these, ladies and gentlemen. New photos released from Epstein estates. Trump, Bannon, Clinton. I mean, obviously, we knew that him and Trump were friends.
Oh, look,
these aren't. It's not a particular bombshell. It was rumored that Steve Bannon, and Steve's confirmed this to me, it was making a documentary on Jeffrey Epstein. That'd be awesome. Why don't you release that? Like I say that. Here he is on set with Woody Allen.
Yep, Woody Allen, Epstein.
Allen, legendary filmmaker and total creep. Here we go. The first Trump photo, the Trump condom. Finally, I'm huge. Here we have Larry Summers on
Bill Gates,
the famous Lolita
here
Express.
on the right.
This is
Larry
Obama's Treasury
Summers.
Secretary. Looks like Woody Allen here too.
Yep. Look here.
Here's a selfie, a mirror selfie with Steve Bannon. I wasn't counting on that, but we know that Steve Bannon was.
So if you're fans of
close
Steve
with
Bannon,
Epstein,
you
or at
might
the very
want to
least, he was
ask
working
why.
with Epstein. Looks some books, but I can't see what books those are. But yeah, the selfie with Steve Bannon wasn't counting.
Look here.
Here's Richard Branson.
Richard
Great
Branson.
famous dude. Jeffrey Epstein. They were clearly on one of their private islands. They both have private islands. And here we have Donald Trump with a bunch of women. They all have their clothes on.
Yeah.
There are plenty of photos of Trump and women.
They look like they're in
looks like
Hawaii
they're at a
or
party.
somewhere, you know.
Some of them have lays on their necks.
Partying, yeah.
And
They have lays on. Looks like they're actually
I don't know.
in
Trump doesn't
Hawaii.
have tie-ons. This is
partying.
clearly the Trump Playboy era.
Now, I have a question. Honestly, I have a real question to the audience, to anybody watching. If you're worth $6 billion, or you're worth 5 million, 10 million, let's just say you're rich as shit. You have so much money, you do whatever you want. Honestly, pretty much travel, buy whatever. Here's the question I have. Are you going to live in a poor community? Or are you going to live in a gated community? Are you going to move? What does the first thing rich people do? Or when somebody gets rich? They buy their mama a house and then they move to the gated community. In the gated community, they get out of the neighborhood they're in. Or even for someone like me in the mountains, what would I do if someone gave me $50 million? What would I do? Well, since I sit on 29 acres, I would probably buy the 1,000 acres next to me. That's what I would do. But what I would do is I would travel. I would go and see things that I hadn't seen. I've been a lot of places in this country. I have. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been to like 38 or 39 states. I've traveled on a Harley. I've traveled, many times, vacation with my kids and my wife. I would go see things I hadn't seen. I would go to Hawaii. I'd go sit in the Bahamas for days at a time, playing in the water, having fun. I would go to parties where I could make connections. Now, would you? Are you telling me you're going to sit there with that beat up old car, paying that high car price, or would you go buy you a new truck or a new car? Most people would want to go buy a new Ferrari or some bullshit. See, that's where you waste your money. You don't invest it. I would invest money. I'd have stocks and bonds. I'd have money making money because I'm not stupid. Land can make money. You just got to know how to work it. Rent it out. Rent certain places out, certain acres, whatever. But here's the thing. Are you going to be that guy that goes broke in a day, because you went and bought a $10 million home? Now you got to pay $1 million a year just for the upkeep and $2 million for the insurance. You're going to go buy a $250,000 car. You're going to pay probably $100K or more on insurance and everything every year. You're going to be broke in 5 years. That's why 90% of lottery winners go broke in 5 years. Or in the first year, whatever. They think luxury, they can just buy luxury and it's unlimited. No. So if you're like Trump or any of these people that run around and you're rich like this, why would you just sit at home and not travel, not go to high-end restaurants and parties and shit? Yeah, you would. I can guarantee you wouldn't sit at home with your thumb up your ass watching reruns of Supernatural or some shit, you know what I mean? Or something on TV. You wouldn't even be watching TV. The only reason you'd be on the internet or social media is connecting with people that, you could benefit from or you could network with and make money. That's what I'd do. That's exactly what I'd do. So he looks like he's in Hawaii or the Bahamas or somewhere. Looks like a vacation. But it's funny how they take out all the background.
Looks like an early 2000s photograph.
Oh, look.
A reminder that Jeffrey Epstein was charged in 2008.
Who's this little funny dude?
So there's a distinct difference between the Epstein was always a creep, but there's a distinct difference between Jeffrey Epstein being charged as a sex predator and pest versus later Jeffrey Epstein,
party.
which is where you get sort of some of the Bill Gates
where
and Obama
lots of
connections.
people are at.
Here we have Bill Gates and Donald Trump. Clearly, this is like a 1990s photo with Trump's hair, right? You see like the difference.
Yeah, it's darker.
And they are grinning and laughing in a club. It's got to be like a club or party.
Yeah, it's a
somewhere
club
in
or
New
a
York.
party in a hotel.
Or something like some club or party. There's a photo of that's Bill Gates right there.
Bill Gates
sitting on the Lolita Express. It's not creepy. Here's just like
Yeah,
a framed
on a
photo of you
plane.
on the Lolita Express.
It is creepy.
Some other women in semi-compromising positions. I don't know. Looks like she's in a bed. Prince Andrew and Bill Gates.
So now you tell me who was more friends, Bill Gates or Donald Trump? Clearly, Bill Gates. I mean, his wife even left him and said he was around Epstein too much. And then everybody wants to take Bill Gates' advice on food and science, and he made billions and billions of dollars off the C-19 vaccines. He pushed that shit, canceled people.
Bill Gates again, flying
Bill
away.
Gates.
Jeffrey Epstein. Dershowitz. We know Dershowitz was his lawyer. And here's Woody Allen.
Woody Allen. Look at old little Woody Allen. He was around Epstein many, many times. Steve Bannon. What are you doing, Steve Bannon?
With Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Got like a children's whiteboard here. And here is Donald Trump with unnamed blonde who's there.
Is that a crime? That woman looks like she's an adult. We have Bill Clinton is
on the Jeffrey Epstein plane. Here's Bill Clinton grinning from ear to ear. Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. Looks like right after Clinton got out of the White House, maybe.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right? Seems like it. Okay. House Democrats releasing these photos. This is the House Democrats received 95,000 new photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate.
95,000 new photos. And these are the ones they release. Huh. What about the other ones? Where's all the other ones? Where's the real, you know what I mean? Like, where's the photos? Where's the, oh, they're going to hide those, right? They're not going to release the ones of their people in them, right? Like I said, Orange Man Bad, they've turned against Bill Gates. You know why? Here's what people don't understand. What people don't understand is, why are they going against Bill Gates? He's one of their own people. Why are they going against Bill Gates? Well, I'll tell you why. Because he come out and fucking said, what did he say 2 months ago? There's no threat to the climate bullshit control. So they've turned against him. You either agree fully with them or they out you and they disown you. That's what the Democrats do. So when he come out and said there ain't no climate threat, they didn't like that. That didn't push their agenda. You understand what I mean? They did not. That does not push their agenda when the biggest guy that is promoting the climate change and backing it with millions and millions of dollars, if not billions, comes out and says there's no real threat to climate change. He didn't say it was a hoax, but he might as well. Guess what they did? They're going to release photos. It's a system, guys. Are y'all not catching on to this yet? I mean, seriously, it's a hamster wheel, and not me, but most people are running on it. They're just running on it, The government is playing every fucking body. It's a game. And how well you play the game is either if you pass go or you go to jail. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't play their games, you go to jail. If you play their games, you get to pass go and continue to build your home. It's like Monopoly. That's all it is. Now, if you haven't caught on to this and you think I'm crazy, then there's something wrong with you. Believe these crazy politicians. Hang on a minute, guys. And that's the thing. Like, are you going to believe a politician or are you going to believe your eyes? I don't believe I'm going to believe a politician because I know from experience they lie. They all lie to us. They lie. See, people didn't like that, so they dropped off. Why? Because their leader, Bill Gates, is being outed as a pedo and playing with girls, and now he's saying the climate control is basically a hoax. The climate crisis is not a crisis. It's bullshit. And that's what it is.
You have some creepy
Look
sexual
at that. That's creepy, dude.
devices here, like
These
a rubber,
people are sick.
a rubber glove, a rubber glove, and some other.
That's more than a rubber glove, bro.
I don't even know, man.
That's toys.
You know, stuff.
That's the Tupperware parties the women used to go to in the 70s.
You know, sex shop toys. Some of the photos, sex shop toys. It looks like it's just a very strange photo to have on your desk. What's going on there?
Well.
Nobody knows. Be nice to know.
Anyways, that's good to know, Mike. So there's the pictures they released. Out of 50,000 pictures, guys, or 95, he said, 95,000 pictures. 95,000 pictures. That's the what? 17 or 5 or whatever they released. That is sickening. Like, really? What I would hate to know. Truthfully, I would hate to know what the other ones are, what they look like, what's in those pictures. Of course, they're going to hide them from the public because it's probably got rich donors, famous actors and actresses. In my opinion, it's probably got more politicians than they want to release because no matter if they're the left or the right, Democrat or Republican, they're still trying to protect, the politicians. And that's the sad thing. That's the disgusting thing is when they want to protect all these politicians. And then you see them at parties, like you see some Democrats over partying with the Tennessee representative. Like, dude, I get you don't have to hate each other and you don't hate each other, but don't put that out in the media. Don't have the mainstream media pushing, this narrative that you guys are up there throwing fists and pissing on each other and hating each other. Well, they do that in front of cameras. That's the only thing, that's what they do. That's what they're good at. What's up, brown chicken? Yes, investing your own business, invest in businesses. Yeah, exactly, Brian. Exactly. Invest. If you had that money, what would you do? Would you spend it away? But that's the thing. What's up, Zach? How corrupt do you have to be, even as a Democrat, to hold, or how sickening do you going to be to even protect Republicans? Or if you're a Republican, how sick are you going to be to protect the Democrats' pictures, that are these Hollywood actors? What are these Hollywood actors to y'all? Why? Because they donate $100,000 or $1 million to your campaign? It seems like that's not right. It seems like it's the other way. They pay these actors and these Hollywood famous people to promote them during campaign season. Like what was the estimated toll that Kamala spent on Beyonce? 10 million for her to walk out and say what? 3 words for 3 minutes. She spoke for what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes. She paid her $10 million. And they wonder where $1.5 billion went on her campaign. Do you know how much Trump spent on his campaign? He had the will of the people. Trump only spent like 300 something million on his campaign. She spent $1.5 billion and still couldn't explain to you what a yellow school bus is. What a retard. I am telling you, if you guys think that Trump is corrupt, Trump, orange man bad, go look at the Democrats. Go look at these people. These people are truly sickening and they're protecting their own. Why was there 95,000? There's probably more than that. But why only release the ones of Bill Gates and Donald Trump? That's no real evidence of either one of them doing anything sinister. It just shows them being around him, right? Okay, so there a lot of people say, and even the Democrat, Joy Off the View says, she said this a long time ago. She said, well, you can be associated with somebody doesn't mean that you're a bad person or you did anything wrong. But then as soon as they come out with Trump, oh no, he was Epstein Island, Epstein Island, all this shit. Well, what happened a month ago when you said, oh, well, you can be on a plane with somebody and not be doing nothing sinister. You don't have to go to his island. You don't know the facts. She's a lawyer. She should know this truthfully. And she does. They just push propaganda. The View is spewing with hatred. They're the most racist people, in my opinion. All the shit they push. That's why I do so many. I show so many shorts of The View, because when you have a common sense person debunking their shit on there, then you get to see exactly what their lies are, and they know it. And here's the thing, though. Someone can be associated, but why only release? Why not give us all the photos? Honestly, like, why not let us have the photos? Why not show them and do not alter them? You know what I mean? Don't mess with them. Don't black out the people in the background. Your people. Don't black out somebody that you know or you're trying to protect, because every one of these people they need to be held accountable. We need to hold these people accountable. We need to know if they were involved, what they did. They need to be arrested if it's the case. They don't need to be serving in any kind of government office or anywhere. Mayor, governor, senator, House representative. They don't need none of that. They don't deserve to even have their balls. And it goes for Trump as well. If there was anything really sinister, he's out. He needs to go. But I truly believe there's not. Association doesn't mean you're guilty. But that's what they like to do. They're saying, oh, you're guilty by association. But then when it comes to their people, they're saying, oh, no, you can be around somebody and not be guilty, But they're already like, oh, you're guilty by association. And we know that. We know that even in your everyday life, people have been guilty, because even when you're in high school, we run around or we may talk to somebody. Oh, you're doing this or you do this because you spoke to somebody. But because association, you're this person, you're this kind of person. No, we're not. Just because I spoke to somebody or I was around somebody, it don't mean you're guilty. But with Bill Gates, and you actually have a wife that said it in an interview, said, I left him because he was playing on the island too much. He was on Epstein. I went there. I was curious, she said. I knocked on the door. I did not like what I seen. So she immediately left him. That right there tells me everything I need to know about Bill Gates. Well, I knew that anyways. He was look at him. He talks about health and like that one reporter said, what makes you an expert in COVID and health? Well, I've read a lot of books and I've talked to doctors. That don't mean you're an expert. Look at you, dude. You don't even work out. You don't walk. You got titties that are hanging down, flabby man boobs. You got a stomach. You're not in shape. You're not like this. You're not built. You're not got a fucking massive arm. You know what I mean? I don't need a gym membership. I have a gym. Like I said, I'm 6'2", 230. For a reason. That is the unhealthiest looking dude to be saying, hey, talking about health and telling other people to get healthy and exercise and shit. He's just making billions of dollars. I truly think they need to look into him more. The FBI, whoever's doing the investigation, not politicians, because politicians are dirty. The more politicians look into it, the more they hide. The more shit their people are involved in it, and then the more shit they want to cover up. That's my opinion. And I truly find that disgusting, because the more they cover up, the less we will ever know who's actually involved. We need to know who's involved. And it goes back to allowing the people in this country in the Biden administration. We need to know who they've let in, who was in. They just invited all people in. Well, we need to understand what threats we have going on. They just said it. 4 people arrested in LA because the FBI was investigating. Thank God. Hopefully someone said something, and that's how the FBI, found them. They were planning a New Year terror attack in LA. And thank God that's being canceled, because they arrested these 4 people, these terrorists. Now imagine, that's 4. We have over 2 million gotaways that came in. And then how many people came through that Biden just let through? There were at that one month, there was 300 something thousand people in 1 month came in this country. So you can't tell me there wasn't millions of people that came into this country, because there was. You just can't tell me there wasn't. There was. I mean, if you don't like it, I hate it. I really do. I hate to hurt your feelings. Not really. I don't really give a shit. If your feelings are hurt, your feelings are hurt. You need to wake up and live in reality, guys. And this goal is for the channel. Let's get this started, guys. Let's start a goal. Come on. I haven't done anything this morning. We need the support. Come on, guys. Support the channels you watch, man. And the reason why I say that is because we work hard to do this stuff. We pay, this shit ain't free. Guns protect you. Like I said, 34 to 35% of Americans own guns. I believe that number should be 90%. That's my opinion, though, guys. And the reason why is because we could stop things like the Brown University. If a 22 to 25-year-old is carrying a gun, or there's multiple people responsible carrying, there's less likely somebody's going to come in there and try to do what they did, to unalive a bunch of kids. I call them kids because I've got a kid in college, and I got a kid that's older, that's married and got a kid that's 23. I call they're kids to me. And these kids need to be able to protect themselves. Mace is good, but mace only works if you're 4 feet from the people. Do you understand? Mace is not going to do anything against a bullet. You need to truly know your enemy. You need to be trained in how to carry. You need to be trained in what to look for. These kids should not be going to a school to do an exam, hopefully to have a future and a career, and then this shit happens, and then some moron comes in and starts shooting everybody. That is failed leadership in the college. That is, just like she said, I was trying to find that clip. I don't know who aired it, or I would show it. This lady needs to resign immediately, in my opinion. She needs to go on, never become anybody in that kind of. She never needs to hold another position of authority or overseeing anybody, in my opinion, because she completely messed up. 6 hours later, she didn't even know what took place, if the kids was okay, what room it was in. The reporter said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but do you know that? Do you know that? She didn't know shit. Now, how clueless is that? And you're the person over the college. You're the dean or whatever you call it. That is sad, guys. That is completely unacceptable. I'm going to look this up. So give me just a second. Okay, let's see. Brown University. Okay. Let's see, press conference. Maybe that's it. Brown University press conference. I want to see where the lady is speaking, because she is completely despicable, in my opinion. I don't think that she should ever hold a position. Like I said, she is clueless. Let's see if I can find that clip, guys. president of the university. That's not it. Let's see. That's the officer speaking. There's one, but it's not her speaking. This guy keeps speaking. Let's see. Well, let's keep going down here and see if she's on here speaking. Still the officer. So remember, when you go out, if you're still Christmas shopping, guys, make sure you keep your head on a swivel and you understand what, where you're at, what's around you. If you leave your town and go to a city, be sure to make sure you know where you're going. You go into maybe you go mall shopping. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you enjoy shopping in the mall, taking your kids. There's a lot of snatch and grabs going on. Let's see. There's something right here. Let me see if this is it. CBS will probably hit me because they're assholes. They don't like, people using their stuff. She spoke there, but she's not saying what that reporter asked her. There's a clip somewhere. God, she's stupid. Let's see. That's not it. I'd like to find that clip. President. Let's see what she said. Let's see if I can find this one. They don't ever want you to do any of that. Well, okay, right here. Maybe I found it. Okay, right here. Sorry, guys. Let's get back over here. Let's see. I know a lot of you are impatient. You like to drop off. So just stick with me. I'm bringing it up. This is, to me, I think this is it. I'm going to show it and we're going to see. Maybe they won't hit me for this. Most of these channels are completely asinine. They're like, no, you can't use 5 seconds of my clip because I'm making money on it. I'm not. They are. So let's just see what she says.
But thank you for everything you're doing there.
Thank you, Chris.
This reporter is going to ask her.
We'll take questions for law enforcement personnel, anyone who's here today and share as much information as we can.
Let's take questions for her.
Jay from Channel 10, Mayor. Can you talk a little bit about what we're going to see in this video? Or can
Commander?
we cheat votes?
We're going to ask Commander O'Hara to answer that question.
Sure. What you're going to see is a video from the building where this incident took place, 184 Hope Street.
Once again, that Providence and Brown stand together today, tomorrow, and in the months ahead. Please.
Thank you. Yes, this is the day that one hopes never happens, and it has.
Maybe this
I
is
really
not it.
appreciate everything that the local law enforcement and everybody is doing to help find this person, make sure that we can be safe as a community. Our focus right now is on supporting the families who have been affected by this, the families of the 2 students who sadly lost their lives today, as well as the 8, now 9 students who are in the hospital. We've been in touch with their families. I will talk to them soon. But we will come together as a community and we'll get through this. Currently, the students are still all on lockdown, as are people in the area, and hopefully we can get them back to their dorms and feeling safe and secure as soon as possible. But thank you for everything.
Okay, that's not
Thank you,
it.
Chris.
That reporter was
We'll
asking
take
her
questions
some
for law
questions.
enforcement personnel, anyone who's here today and share as much information as we can at this time.
Can we,
Dan.
what was that class there for? Was it a final exam? You're the president. You must know.
I don't know.
You don't?
I don't.
He says, you're the president. You must know. Wait a minute. You're the president of this. You're the president. Yeah. Listen, I found it. So let's listen to it. You must know what's going on with your college. You must know what's going on.
President Paxton, could you maybe answer some of the questions about the Brown students? What was that class there for? Was it a final exam? You're the president. You must know.
I don't know.
You don't?
I don't know that.
Okay.
Sir, you had a question? Go.
So have the
Well, there was more questions. You just don't know. There were more questions.
No,
Let's see.
they have not. The shelter in place has not changed. It remains in effect for the Brown campus and the surrounding
He must
neighborhood.
have clipped it because it's,
City of Providence, you know, if you
somebody
live near
must have
Brown,
pieced
that's
that
where
together,
the shelter in
one I
place is in
seen.
effect. It is not in effect in other neighborhoods because we have no reason to believe
She didn't
that
know
there is any
anything.
particular threat beyond the campus area at this time. As I mentioned at the press,
You're still in the area.
we don't know.
President Paxton, could you talk directly to the students? They've been on lockdown. What about meals? What if someone has a medical emergency? If you could talk directly to the students.
I think she's completely clueless.
Stand that have been in
I
shelter.
mean, I know the students are anxious, and I know they're in very constant.
If she can't even stand in front of the microphone, she's so damn awkward. She don't even need to be over. And she's getting paid $3 million a year, guys. $3 million a year. And now Brown University's sitting on $8 billion. Why are they sitting on it? Doing nothing with it. The average student pays $70K a year to go to school there. And you're going to tell me that this lady don't even know what's going on with these? They don't even know. She has no clue what the students were doing in that building. She didn't know they were taking the exams. That's somebody that doesn't get involved with the school, obviously. And she's the president. She should know this stuff.
Communication with loved ones and parents through social media and on their phones. If we hear that students need support, if they have a medical issue or something like that, we will address it. Our major priority right now is for their safety.
President Paxton, could you confirm that several of the victims are in the women's lacrosse team?
I cannot confirm that.
President, how are you doing today? Processing all this?
Yeah,
How are you?
It's hard to process. I was on a plane to DC when it happened and flew right back and
See?
I'm catching up
On a-
right now.
President, with all due respect,
On a plane to DC to fuck around and ask for more money or something that shouldn't have been doing. She should have not been. She should have been, oh, I want to go hang out with politicians and because I'm a wokey. Listen to this.
6 hours after the shooting, and you said you don't know what was going on in that classroom?
6 hours after the shooting, and she still doesn't know what's going on. She's clueless, man. This lady is clueless. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not blaming her for nothing. I'm saying she should know what she's doing. 6 hours later, she should know what's going on. This tells me that she doesn't get involved with her school.
How does that happen? Were they taking an exam? Were they meeting for a club?
I don't know. I don't know.
6 hours later, you're the president, and you don't know.
I do not know.
Well,
That's
That's kind of crazy, he said, or, that's kind of, that don't make sense. He said, you don't know 6 hours later, you don't know what they were doing in that classroom, but you're the president. You should know this stuff. You should be asking questions. Hey, I'm sorry. I was on a plane to DC. I had to turn around. What's going on in that classroom? Why were they there? If you have an emergency like this, within six hours later, you better know what's going on. I would never want my kid to go to that school, especially run by somebody like this. This doesn't make sense. Her not to know anything that's going on. I don't blame her for nothing except being clueless about not knowing what's going on with her own people. I think that is one of the most asinine things in this world. Why is she in a position making $3 million a year and she don't even know what's going on with her students? That is crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. That's crazy. That's just my opinion, though, guys. I like I said, I think it's asinine. I think it's truly crazy for somebody to be in that position. That aggravates me because I sit and think, man, what hope does these younger generations have? You know, like honestly, like, is there any hope for these kids out here? Is there any hope for the young? And I'm talking about like the 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds that ain't made it to college yet, that's got to deal with shit like this because our leaders are not stepping up and securing this country and securing this shit. That's the issue I have. What's up, Salty? Good to see you, brother. Michigan attorney, let's see what he's saying. Michigan Attorney General Monday released a report detailing allegations of SA abuse, okay, and other misconducts on 51 really, that took place in the sources of Grand Rapids. Really? Of Grand Rapids? Huh. That's wild. None of your business. Obviously, you're uneducated enough to even know this stuff. If you'd have been watching from the beginning, you'd see what I'm talking about. Talking about the Brown shooting, man. And also, FBI makes 4 arrests in the new alleged terror plot in LA for the New Year terror plot. They were fixing, and it's showing it right now. Like they have got these people in a freaking desert camping and all that. It's breaking news right now in Los Angeles. Right now, they had they were planning a New Year attack. Right now. Turtle Island, Liberation Front, Death to America. This is what they found on their stuff. This is the signs and everything that they found. Yep. Posters and stuff saying Death to America, Turtle Island, all this stuff. They're saying that the conspiracy and possession of a destructive device. Yep. DOJ. Suspects were using encrypted messaging and allegedly began assembling their IEDs in the California desert. I knew it. And that's where they got criminal. Okay. 4 alleged members of an extremist group were planning coordinated bombing attacks on New Year's Eve across the South. That's what it is. Man. Ooh-wee. You guys better keep your head on a swivel. You better pay attention if you're doing any holiday stuff, like you're going to see Christmas lights or going shopping, you know, please be aware of some major shit going on. If you're in a crowd of people, see, this is something that I don't care to get in. I don't want to get around 2,000 people. I just don't, not going to. But if I do, I have before. And if I do, I'm not paranoid. I'm never paranoid because I can handle myself. The thing is, I'm always prepared for something. You know, the distance you will go for violence is, I mean, you know, you've got to know how far you're willing to go. I mean, the thing is, I don't promote violence or anything like that or hate on my channel. I don't want any of that on here. But I'm just trying to suggest maybe you're going to a Christmas party. Maybe you're going into the city. Maybe you live in the country and you're going on a sleigh ride. Maybe you're going ice skating in a city somewhere like New York or, you know, where's another good city? Chicago, Nashville, places like that. Just be aware of your surroundings. You don't have to be a paranoid guy or girl. Just be aware of, you know, pay attention to people. And this is why people, and I get it. You're out there, you're having fun. You know, you got your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever. You know, you're in the moment, you know, or you're on the cell phone. Things take your attention away from, you know, reality. Just try to remember that this country has completely been open the last 4 years to we don't know who. Many crazy people has come in this country, man. And they didn't just go to one city. They went everywhere from Florida to Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia to Kentucky to New York to Michigan, Chicago to California to, Dakotas to Montana to, they're in Texas. They're everywhere in every state. And if you don't watch it, you will be the next victim. So be prepared, please. If you're going to celebrate the holidays in public, just be aware. If you're in a carry state and you're legal and you're not a felon and you can carry proper and you know what you're doing, please carry. Always carry, because you may save somebody's life, if not your own. That's what I ask you to do for the new year. Just be aware of your surroundings, guys. Always be aware of your surroundings. I am. There's nobody even comes on my property unless I see them first. Do you understand? I pay attention to my place. I pay attention to where I go. Yeah, just like the statistics show. Oh, he's a white man, possibly white, and he's a black man or a Mexican or Spanish or Muslim. He's a dark man. But you guys keep saying the statistics are the white people. Really? So the father and son, apparently father and son in Australia were white. They were white men that just hit Australia, the Bondi Beach. They were white men. No, they was Islamic terrorists. They were not white. Just like the guy the other day they arrested. And Jake Tapper from CNN says, yes, a 31-year-old white man. And he was on the screen, clearly a 31-year-old black man. It's the bullshit propaganda that they're trying to push on the public. And if you look at the real statistics, when people are arrested, the Latino community is being labeled white. It's sad because they're trying to make it the white. It's funny how the white people are always at fault, but we're only 8% in the world. Only 8% of the world's white, but we're always at fault. White being bad. I have no white guilt. I'm not ashamed of being European Native American. I promise you that. I have no shame whatsoever. I love where I come from. We do have culture. We do have things that we love. We have things that we grow up with. I have traditions that I've grown up with. I'm not ashamed of any of it. And nobody should be ashamed of being black, Spanish, Mexican, whatever, Latino, whatever you want to call yourself. No one should be ashamed of that. Never be ashamed of who you are and where you come from. Bottom line. Now, when you're when you're a keyboard warrior and you get out here and you talk tough on the internet, and then you get out here in public and you fold like a launch chair, son, I think it's time you get off the internet, or you stop doing what you better change your direction. Exactly. White guilt has never existed. It's a victim mindset. Exactly. And I'm not a victim. Of course, we know most people want to be victims on the left. They always, they hurt me 250 years ago. They hurt me. Bro, I wasn't even alive when slavery was going on. Neither was you. More than likely, your family wasn't even slaves. And this is what pisses me off. They just continue to keep saying it like it's a black and white thing. It's not. It's a black and black thing. It's a Egypt thing. It's a brown thing. It's a European. It's every one of those countries over there was slave. White people were enslaved. Black people, native people were enslaved. Everybody was enslaved at one period or another. It's just, that's the real truth. And then I hate these fucking channels get on here and you get a panel of 10 people and they say and they all say it's the white man's fault. They blame the white man because they can't get ahead. Really? Stop blame, because and not all black people do. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the certain people that do. There's a few that get on there and they do these YouTube channels and they get on there and they're leftists, they're woke Democrats, And what do? They blame the white man for everything. We can't get ahead because the white man. What have I done today to stop you from going to work or going, to get ahead? Why? Here's the big question I have. Where's your LeBron Jameses? Where's your Michael Jordans? Where's your wealthy black sports athletes? We all know 95% of athletes are black and rich, right? You can't play baseball unless you speak Spanish nowadays. That's just a fact. Here's the thing. Why are you guys not promoting your rich black people since you want to idolize these rappers and black rich people and wear their clothes? I don't wear logos. I'm not advertising anybody else. I'm not making them fucking money. Anybody, white people and black people, I don't care who it is. I'm not trying to make people money. Here's the thing. Instead of always looking in Gucci and FUBU and FOBO or whatever they call that shit and all your $50 fucking ball caps, why not make your own? Why promote them? Why are you blaming the slavery, the white community for you saying, we can't get ahead because the white people? Well, no, you can't get ahead because you're not blaming your leaders in your own community. Where are you at? Why are you not going to the rich black folks and saying, hey, open up a bank for us black people, go buy, you're worth $1.5 billion, LeBron or Michael Jordan, or, this sports athlete or this athlete, you're worth millions. Why are you two or three not come together and built and got, black owned banks, black cities? Nobody is stopping you. Seriously, why are they not questioning their own people instead of idolizing their people? They idolize these rappers and the gold chain and all that. Not all of them. Not all of them. I will say not all of them. I have a lot of friends that are black. I have no issues with them. But it aggravates me when you see these woke black people sitting here blaming white people because they're the victims. And then they say, oh, well, we can't get ahead. We don't own banks. We don't have, store. Well, don't blame us. Blame your rich people. Why? Because every time they become rich, what's the first thing they do? They jump up and buy their mama a house in the gated community and they move to a white neighborhood. You could put all of us white people on one country by ourselves and everybody would try to get into it. Why? Because we build it up because it's fucking great. Wherever we're at, it's fucking great. Bottom line. And that's the point. Stop blaming white people for your problems. Blame your own people why they're not investing in your communities. Blame them for not building businesses and corporations and giving you jobs or buying a bank. Buy a building, turn it into a bank. You know why they don't do it? Because they know as soon as they get a black-owned bank, you think they're going to give a loan to a bunch of ghetto motherfuckers that it's never going to pay them back? This is the truth. Now, it may hurt your feelings and you may go cry, but it's the truth. The reason why these rich people these black rich folks do not do that, because they know, and I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying, though we know the certain ghetto ones, they're going to tear it down. They're going to loot it. They're going to steal. Why do you think the rich black people don't come and put businesses in the poor black communities? Honest to God, why do they not do that? Why do they not buy the liquor store and take the liquor out of it and put their brand in it? Why do they not buy the gas stations instead of letting the Indians buy them? Why not? Why don't they do it? Because they're going to have a parking lot still full of black people that's going to loot them every time somebody gets arrested. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. And if you're black and you're listening, if you can't admit that to yourself, you have a bigger issue, or you're a woke Democrat that you're a victim. You say you're a victim all the time. And a real true conservative black person that has common sense will understand what I'm talking about. They know it's true. They know it is. So I hope you guys can understand, and I hope you really do understand what is going on in this country. We need to get rid of the roaches. Like I said, these illegals are like roaches, man. These fucking Muslims, you feed them a little bit and they all come in, and that's what the Biden administration did. They opened up the borders. They allowed them all to come in. It's hard to kill roaches because they're always laying eggs everywhere, you know? But we got to get some raid. We got to eradicate them. We got to deport them. We got to get the bad ones out of this country. You know, if you're here illegally, you need to go. Bottom line. We want our cities safe. We want our streets safe. We want our kids to be able to play in the yard. We want our teenagers to be able to go to the movie theater. We want our college kids to be able to go to college safely. That's the bottom line. Because I said so. Insurance exists for these situations. Yes. How am I lucky, man? Honestly, how am I lucky? Because I'm white? Because I choose not to get put in those? How am I lucky? I grew up in the 80s in South 606 Nashville and then off of Dickerson Road for 15 fucking years of my life in the ghetto. And I had to I had a single mother that had 5 of us kids, and I'm the youngest. And I went to Whites Creek. We fought every day going to school, at school, and back. And I'm not racist. I have Bob Marley tattooed on my fucking arm. My oldest daughter's name's Marley. Trust me, I'm far from that. I know I've experienced the poor black community because it wasn't just poor black. I was in it. So it doesn't make it black when it's just a poor community. But what I'm saying is my mother chose to go to college and I wasn't from there. We were born in the mountains and she moved us there to go back to school and we were poor. She worked 2 jobs and went to college. This is no shit in the 80s. And she worked her ass off and got her degree. She retired from the state of Tennessee after 30 something years and then she's in medical still. She still works in the medical field today as a nurse. She did do it right. And if my mother can do it with 5 kids single with no father, after she divorced my father, I was 2 years old. She never remarried again. She had a boyfriend for like 12 years or something. She dated a man and he was a good man, but he got killed in an accident. But the thing is, don't tell me I don't know and I'm lucky. How am I lucky? Dude, I slept on concrete floors. We had concrete walls. So don't start that shit. Don't come in here starting to say that shit. I lived in the fucking ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto in the streets. I know exactly. Just because I chose to live my life somewhere else and come back in as an adult and move back to the country and live a life doesn't mean shit. I chose to get out of that. Just like my mother. So you come in here ranting saying I'm lucky. Why? I don't hate blacks. You people are so... It's so funny. Oh, you're this and you're that. Really? No, I don't think it's the blacks' fault. It's their own fault for listening to a president that said, LBJ said, I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years. I'm going to give them free welfare, free food stamps. We got the lunch program, the free lunch programs. What did he do? You know as well as I do. The white Democrats pushed the men out of the homes, told the women, hey, I'll give you more support, more money if you're a single mother. That's exactly the truth. Don't try to tell me I'm 45 years old. I know what it is. I've lived through this shit. I have experience in having a mother that we were on food stamps. We were poor. So don't come at me like that. Because I'll crush your dreams quick. But it is their fault when they choose to stay where they're at. If they choose generational welfare is sickening. Do you understand? When a woman or a man, a black woman in the projects raises their kids, and these kids get an apartment next door to them in the projects to pay $75 a month or whatever it is, it used to be cheaper than that. But let me tell you something, and they choose to not go to work and not do nothing, when they choose not to get an education, same with white people. If they choose to live in a trailer park or the meth avenue and they choose not to go to work and do something about it, it's their own fault. Yes. It's their own fault. That generational shit needs to be broke. That's what I'm saying. The DEI programs don't work. And if they do, they're not choosing the right people. I'm just saying, as from experience, I roofed. I went into construction. I was a roofer for 16 years. I did heating and cooling for 6. I busted my ass to take care of my wife and children and raise my kids. It's the choice. Go get a job, get an education. We all have choices. Just because everyone's, oh, I'm an environment of my neighborhood. So your neighborhood told you to be ghetto and poor and not get an education? No, you have a choice in school. We've all been teenagers in high school at one point in time. We all know as damn well as I do, you can sit and make a choice to do your work and get a high school diploma and do something else. We all know there's programs. It doesn't matter if it's vocational, 2-year programs to learn a trade. You can get accepted in there. You don't have to be white. I know many different colored people, especially Latino, that go into trade school. There's tons of jobs out there. It's a choice. I don't want to hear the bullshit. Okay. We'll see about that. You don't run my channel. I'm the fucking CEO of this channel. Do you understand? I'm the boss of this channel. You don't come in here and tell me what I need to do. You need to get to kick rocks. You know what I mean? It's a choice. Remember that. Don't be a fucking weenie and spur out because I said, hey, it's your own fault. Don't play the victim card to me. Don't sit and tell me that I'm white privileged because I'm just like anybody else. I don't get to go and stand in line and get to the front of the line in front of you because I'm white. That's bullshit. I'm sick of fucking hearing it. You're fired. It's just, hey, I promise you, any real black person, conservative, that's got common sense, they know exactly what I'm talking about, and they will agree with me. They may not agree with me on my show, but you can go and look up any black channels, conservative channels on YouTube or social media, and they're all talking about it. They're all talking about the bullshit ghetto. They're talking about these wretched ass people that are making their communities bad. And how do they fix it? Well, I've got a solution how you fix it. You come together since you're bragging that you wear gold and you got money and you go in there and buy the business. You fix it. No, they don't want to because they know that they will be looted and robbed. They're not willing to put back in their community, so they need to shut the fuck up about it. Move on. Quit idolizing these rappers and these fucking famous black people. They're not helping you. No politician's going to come and help you or save you. No rapper, no rich famous black person's going to come and save your ass. You've got to do it yourself. No white person's going to come and save me. I don't need to be saved. That's the point. I'm not a victim. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. Look yourself in the mirror and fucking change. Change. Choose differently and choose wisely. You don't have to be that person that goes out and gets drunk. I don't put myself in those positions. I don't drink. I used to when I was in my late teens and early 20s. I lived in Panama City Beach, Florida. 5,000 college students a fucking week there. I ran through those 3 I'm telling you, I had an experience. I loved it. But I changed when I started having my kids. I chose not to drink alcohol. I don't put myself in those positions of being in the streets or being anywhere for that matter, where I don't know what's going on. And I don't know. I'm very alert and aware of what's going on where I go. I promise you that. I choose not to get fucked up and get fucked up. You know what I mean? That is the choice I made. I like your channel. Well, thank you, Luke. UK. Is that? X9V? Yeah, subscribe, man. Help the channel out. This is my 4th channel. I've got hacked. I've had many social media channels took down on other platforms. Instagram, I used to have like 5 different channels over there. They took like 3 of them down. Facebook, I'm shadow banned. Instagram, I'm shadow banned. TikTok, I started that about 2 months ago. They've already threatened to kick me off. I wish they would. TikTok is completely sickening. It's all under Ray's Motor Life, except Facebook. It's under my name, Brandon Ray. X, Twitter, whatever you call it now, it's under Ray's Motor Life. So YouTube has my my other channel. It's actually I've actually got a few of my subscribers to come over here. I've been trying to talk to them in the comment sections. They actually have my other channel. I had 35 something thousand or whatever subscribers. It's a monetized channel. They're running it. YouTube is running it monetized. I have no control of that channel anymore, or the other 2 channels I had. I mean, it's a game, man. It's a sucker system, and if you don't know how to play the game, you're going to lose. I'm telling you, social media is a game. We've all been given this game, and the people that get on here and get millions of followers, they're playing the game, guys. They know how to play the game. It's like Monopoly. I'm telling you, you get to build and establish who you are and all this. But if you're fake, guess what? Yeah, you'll get a ton of followers. What's that video say? You'll get a ton of followers, but you won't ever be real. You're going to be people that are following you. Let me listen to it here. Maybe I can listen to it right here. Let's see.
Circle will be, because pretending is the fastest way to become popular in a world full of people terrified of the truth. When you're fake, you're flexible. You bend your personality to fit every room. You laugh at what you don't find funny. You agree with what you don't respect. You turn yourself.
It's got music, so I can't play the whole thing, but it's the truth. It's the truth, guys. It's the truth. When you're fake, don't be fake. I'm not fake. You can ask anybody that knows me in my chat, that's met me in real life. I'm the same in real life as I am on here. I don't believe in changing. I don't have time to play a character on the internet. I don't have time to play games like that. I'm here to enjoy. I'm here to hopefully, entertain some people. I think I'm in many different categories. I'm on here to show news and talk politics. If you like that stuff, I'm here to, hopefully bring you guys information, that maybe you're not aware of. I'm here to talk. I wouldn't even mind taking callers and having people on the panel, but you got to even watch that. You got to vet these people because they want to shut your channel down because they're jealous. It all stems back to jealousy. Oh, he's got more subscribers. He's got more views than I do. Let's shut him down. Let's get on there and show her, what on camera, or let's cuss. It's serious shit. You can't even trust somebody to come up here and have a decent conversation without smirking out and shutting your channel down. It's a shame that all these little fucking virgins out here, that's all they got to do. And you really will notice them because 99% of them, even on Instagram, you'll go over there and see who they are. And they've got like 30 followers or 100 followers, and they all got exotic sports cars, either 2 or 3, photos of them, or as their picture, because they dream of this shit and they never get it. That's all they do. And they're nothing, truthfully. They're just nothing. And the haters will hate, and that's fine. Let the haters hate. We get famous off the haters. That's why I always say never ban anybody. I will take care of it. I will tell you if somebody's in my chat being very disrespectful, I will see to it. My moderators know not to time out anybody or ban anybody. I don't try to do that. Really, really rare that I will ban somebody. Exactly. When you're successful, other people try to tear you down because they're jealous. They're jealous of success because they believe that you've had succeeded in something they can't. And the 90%, the reason why they're jealous is because they don't have the courage to come on screen, especially when it comes to social media, like these streaming. They're jealous because they don't have that courage to turn on their camera, come on and talk and carry a conversation on. That's exactly the truth. And you will notice, even if you go to a panel where they're on panels, they got some cartoon emoji or some fucked up picture as their as their picture, or some cartoon character or clown. Why? Because they're a virgin in their mama's basement saying, you're the person that living at home. Really? No, I'm an adult. I do adult shit. I have a wife for 22 years. I have grown kids. The last one's almost grown. Yeah. Who's living in whose basement? Yeah, you guys don't even know what a spare bedroom. Oh, look, you're living in your room, your mom's room. No, this is a spare bedroom. I turned it into my office. Do you know what a spare bedroom is? It's when you have guests come over, they have a fucking place to stay. Why? Because I've worked my whole life. I'm grown. I have things in my life that I've worked for. But they don't understand that, because all you see them is in a room hunkered down, and they're saying, where's my next, energy drink in my hot pockets? Oh, it's funny because they get on, and that's fine. Troll the fuck out of me. Haters will hate. Haters make you famous. It doesn't matter, because I know why I'm on here. I'm not on here to please those trolls. I'm here to hopefully reach people and build a team with the memberships. When you become a member and we get 10 or more, we're going to do member only live streams. And if you have a channel and you're serious about serious shit like I am, and about building a network platform and a channel, we will have you. I will have you, if you're a member for so long and you're actually going to be part of the team and the unfiltered fucking team. That's what's called, unfiltered. We will promote you. I keep saying we because I have another person working. Listen, I'm the CEO. I own this channel. It's all mine. But what I'm saying is, you can, when you feel comfortable, if you're a member of my channel and you're going to stick with membership, we will have you on screen when you get comfortable. We will promote your channel. We will, advertise your channel. I don't care to help people out. We will do live streams. I will have you on. We can let you talk about your stuff, where people can find you, what they can do, what you do if you have small business, whatever. I don't care. If you're going to support me, I will support you right back. And that's the way I believe, the way it should work. And that's me. If you support me, I will support you. I will help promote you. I will help you get out there. So think about that. If you want to become a member of my channel and support me, we can build your team as well. And I love it. I love doing social media. I'm retired, 45, and I'm retired. Trust me, I'm retired. This is what I do now. I love social media. I love doing streaming. I used to do, you can ask these people that's got wrenches in my chat, man. I was doing live streams 2 or 3 times a day 4 or 5 years ago. I've deleted over 2,000 live streams, deleted them. I've done, there ain't no telling how many thousands of live streams. I would do streaming on YouTube. I'd have my phone over here streaming on Instagram, streaming on another platform over here, Facebook. I mean, truthfully, every morning, every evening, every night, I was streaming, and I got burnt out. I took a year off. And then when my channel got hacked 2 months ago, I've had to start a new one. I'm trying to build it back up. Not only that, they just don't like real people talking. That's it. They don't like real motherfuckers talking. They don't like people telling the truth, because it exposes their dirty shit. That's the truth. And if you want a real motherfucker that's blunt like me, I'm not putting on. This is really me. I'm very blunt, and I speak shit right off the cuff, man. I will come out and say it, whatever's on my mind. That's the way I've always been. And I'll be straight up with you. I'm not going to be your yes man. You understand? You become part of the unfiltered team. Let me tell you, I'm not going to be your yes man. I'm not going to tell you things you like. or you want to hear? I'm going to tell you exactly what you're doing wrong and what you need to do right. If you want to build a channel, if you want to do that, or whatever, even in life, you want advice? I'm 45. Maybe I can give a little bit in that area. Maybe I can, get to know you. I will tell you the truth, what you're doing wrong, or what I think that, you could do different to make your situation better. That's the truth. And I'm not that yes man. I'll tell you straight up, if I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to agree with everything you do, because most people just want that yes man. Do you want a friend, or do you want a real motherfucker telling you, what you're doing right and wrong? I don't want a yes man. I don't want a friend. That's why I always say, do you want the friend answer, or do you want the real answer? You know what I mean? I can give you the friend answer and say, yeah, everything's great, dude. You're doing good, even though you fucking suck and your editing sucks and you can't do shit. Now, I'm not an expert in editing. I never hardly edit because I don't care for it. I just like to do real shit. You see what you see is what you get. Like I said, I don't want to be that friend, where that yes friend, and I'm not going to be. I will give you constructive criticism where it belongs. I will not downgrade you. Trust me. But most people are just looking for that friend advice. You know what I mean? Like, I want a motherfucker to tell me the truth. That's what I like. That's the people I want around me. I want real motherfuckers around me. I don't want fake, phony people around me. I just don't. And that's the truth. It is. Jealousy is a hell of a drug. It is. It really is. So, like I said, enjoy the channel. Hit that subscribe, like, become a member if you want to join the team. Make sure you catch me here tomorrow. We're going to start around 10:30. I'm not for sure yet. I've got a few things to do. I've got a doctor's appointment Thursday. I got to have a CT scan. Friday, I have a doctor's appointment out of town. So I don't think I'll be doing a stream Friday morning, maybe Friday evening. So you can catch me on there. Turn your notifications on. Guys, we're going to call it a day. Please mind your surroundings and stay in your lane or crash the damn thing.